Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the final set of the day. It's the finals, and we've all been looking forward to this. All the teams, all the players have as well. My name is Randy, and I'm joined by Hi-Rez Pretty Hair today to get things started, Nick. This is one for the ages.
Absolutely. This is the tale as old as time. For those of you that may be new to the scene, these two teams go way back, all the way to DreamHack. These were the HRX finalists. Now it's time for them to clash once again. This is the best 2 out of 3 for big lands for these two teams.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot going on, man. And, we got a couple of good things going on in the realm as well, from some promos for you guys to be able to get an extra advantage while you're playing and get the most out of your games. And, of course, if you're going to go ahead and get the most out of your games and keep watching the esports, that's where you want to be in the summer. It is DreamHack Valencia. You've already heard it. The announcements have been here, Nick, but this is the first time we've actually been able to tell them about the path to get there.
Yep, so this is the last day of the Masters LAN here, but it's not going to stop right there. We got 4 weeks of open bracket qualifiers into 3 weeks of round robin. So similar to the qualifying path for the Masters LAN here, we're kicking things off right quick.
Oh, man, and a $100,000 prize pool taking place 13th, 14th, 15th, mid-July, essentially. 8 teams there. International competition for the remaining 4 spots. 2 NA, 2 EU. It's going to be an exciting, exciting thing. Most likely we'll see some of those things are still being worked out, but largely, if you're going to be involved, this is how you're going to get there. And, Nick, that's not all that we have coming up, which is exciting.
Yep, so Paladins has just launched into its closed beta phase on both Xbox and PS4, both platforms, which will be represented at DreamHack Valencia. For the first time, both platforms will clash against each other to determine not only the superior region, but the superior console as well.
And that's the exciting thing about this, to reward the early adopters for getting into the Paladins console scene early. We wanted to put this on and really showcase what console has to offer. We know that this community has just loved Paladins from the very beginning, so this is your thanks from us. And DreamHack, it's going to be exciting, bro. I can't wait to go to Spain.
Yeah, me neither. 6 weeks of open bracket qualifiers to get yourself a trip over to across the pond. I mean, I've never been there. I'm excited.
Well, I mean, looking at it all, it's been an incredible weekend. And talking about across the pond, we've got 2 European teams in the finals. But how did they get there? Let's take a look at Group A here. And this is the first day. You remember Cube Team, Rukia made a big statement there, and District 69, although having a couple moments, were able to make it through to Kanga Esports and have a close set to get them out as the #1 team. Kanga having to face off against Eager twice, and that 3-2 set at the very end, pushing Kanga ahead in Group A.
Very close, very good games, but it was Kanga coming out on top. Group B, which you saw yesterday, had Carbon 6 and Astral Authority coming out, but narrowly. WASD with a very long stay here in the Masters LAN, playing the most sets of any team coming in from the wild card, almost making a Cinderella story coming out of Group B.
Yeah, just weren't able to make it happen through Astral Authority. The real crazy twist to that, some great sets yesterday, was that WASD beat them the first time around. Astral Authority made some adjustments and were able to take Authority, and so they got themselves in the semis today. But D69, despite losing a game to Astral Authority, the #1 NA seed really did show up and gave them a run for their money.
The skill gap that has closed, it's insane since HRX. Astral Authority really kind of getting stomped and swept aside by some of the higher seeded EU teams, but really putting up a really strong fight today in every single one of those 4 games. And Kanga Esports surprised everyone when they were Abyss at HRX, and they've just continued to do nothing but improve.
Less of a surprise, I think, for Carbon 6. They took them the distance, 3-2, and it was a really, really close one. But of course, these are best of 5s, and that last game on Fish Market served to be the determining factor that allowed Carbon 6 to move forward and now face their European counterparts. A lot of history between both of these teams.
Absolutely. They go all the way back to DreamHack of the summer of 2016, where District 69 was able to come away with the win at that tournament. They're no stranger to the best of 7 finale, though. They also clashed in the HRX finals, where it looked good for District 69. They were up 2 games to nothing, and then Burrito just battled their way back and took it the distance.
And Paladins at the Invitational HRX, where in January most of the competition that these players have experienced in the LAN perspective happened. These 2 teams faced off again in the finals, like you mentioned. Best of 7, went the distance, and Burrito at that time, now Carbon 6, had a sub that made a little bit of a name for himself. His name's Bonkar, and he's now a big part of this roster, helping him to get back to this, but they're missing Eliminate, another big player for them, and D69, they don't have a sub. They've got the full squad here.
You can see him sitting on the end there. Earned himself the MVP at the HRX Invitational when D69 was down a man. The man in the middle there, the myth, the legend, Bugzy, the captain for District 69, couldn't make it over here to America, but he's here now, and they're ready to win. They are strong as 5, and they've never been more confident in their ability to take the first place.
It's just such an interesting story. Both these teams back and forth, fighting against each other to reign supreme in a region that largely dominates Paladins esports. And though that's changing, it hasn't changed this time around. And these two teams, again, fighting for supremacy. Bugzy there, smile on his face. He's got his friends and family welcoming him, warming him up in between games, and really, I think he's feeling confident about this one.
The notable thing here, as you can notice on his player card, while with this team, Bugzy hasn't lost a major event. DreamHack 2016 first place finish, and then when he got back with the roster after HRX, taking first place and kind of flipping the script in the EU Masters qualifiers. Burrito, or now Carbon 6, was kind of their kryptonite for a long time, losing pretty handily to them during the online qualification, but they always show up at LAN.
The thing is, they've been known as the North American crushers, even taking a Kangarna bottle and stomping on it as they won the first DreamHack. But will they be the EU crushers at this point? They haven't done it yet, but they need to do it here this year. It's time for Carbon 6 now to get their shot at winning a title. Yet again, this would be 2 in a row for basically the same squad.
And a very important key component to this composition, to this team, to this roster, this guy right here, Kevin Jensen from Denmark, had an absolutely lights out performance on Bomb King in that last game to put Kanga back on the plane to Australia here, and you can see his record, 3rd, a little bit of a choke there at LAN, and that was something we talked a lot about. Would they be able to push through that at HRX with a lot of expectations on them? They had another stellar online stage of qualifying, just sweeping the competition, but at LAN, they were able to come out on top.
It is good to note that the last time these guys faced Bugzy at LAN, actually, the captain of D69, is about a year ago at that DreamHack when they just pulled out some very interesting strats, 3-0'd them, and sent them home packing after they were the favorite.
What a different game it was all the way back then. It's crazy to see how far Paladins has come in a year.
And these players have stayed with it every step of the way. That's why you know they're the real deal. Some teams, some people have fallen out and not been able to adjust to the style that has been introduced as this game changed and grew and developed, even past OB30 when we saw the TTK, the time to kill changes.
Look at that map graphic,
but they're
baby.
Still here, ready to go, man. That's commitment.
Best of 7 here, guys. The long haul, Frozen Guard, the first map selection between these two teams. And frankly, you know, as strong as both of these teams are, notably a little bit weak on these Glacial Keep variants.
Yeah, and I think now, because Kanga has kind of forced Burrito to play against, or excuse me, Carbon 6 to play on them, these weird maps, both of these teams are now really accepting the fact that, you know, we got to get a Frozen Guard, we've got to get a Temperament, we've got to get an Ice Mines in our pool and be able to win on those maps, which D69 admittedly has had some trouble with.
So first pick Bomb King, immediately into the Drogos here. So something was
nice
that was avoided a little bit because on this map, Drogos can struggle a little bit. It is very open air. So drafting into an early Kinessa could be something that Carbon 6 looks to do. We saw that a lot in their previous set versus Kanga. They would take the early Kinessa and just dare the opposing team to take the Drogos.
Yeah, Kinessa's largely very good on this map. So Shaolin, he's got long lines of sight. This map really benefits champions who have an extended range because they can poke and be safe and escape after that poke is done. So much of your damage is important to do, but also to do and stay alive afterwards to help the fight. Lex and Maldamba likely to be chosen here for D69 and give Carbon 6 a chance to fill out their roster.
So with the one chance to counter pick here, do Carbon 6 go for the Kinessa? Do they feel it's worthwhile taking out of the air? My answer personally would be yes. Bugzy has had such an outstanding impact in every set where he has been allowed to play the Dragon. Waiting, thinking about this last pick, they're hovering it. Do they want it? District 69 are going to have to counter pick it if the Kinessa does get locked in.
2 ways to go here. You could take it, or you could take Eevee, and she would be a counter to it. But now it's going to leave D69 the opportunity to pick up potentially the Eevee or the Buck, which PERDO, eLvenpath, this entire roster have loved and gone with, but they instead go for more of a point stack, something a little bit heavier, and maybe just better zoning, considering they've got Ying and Barrack to bounce the shock pulse.
And this
off
is
of.
likely to go to Shipa, which is interesting because he used to be just such a great EV player, but really has fallen out with the character, hasn't wanted to take it. This would have been a good time for that, but it's difficult also with the Bomb King on Carbon 6. Very good at defending, babysitting this sniper. And we'll get into game number 1 here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the grand finals of the Masters LAN here between Carbon 6 and District 69. Northernberg on his Shaolin with Recurve. Moving right along, focusing lens for Birds Ying, Architectonics for Thiel's Barrack, Accelerant for Laizy's Bomb King, and Eagle Eye for Bonkar's Kinessa.
And Bugsy's going to run Fusillade Drogo's. PERDO will be on Death Hastens for Lex. Maelstrom Grok, gerrah on Ripened Gordon, eLvenpath running Pluck.
So 3 cauterizers right off the bat here. Maybe wanting to look at eLvenpath to try and get that early pick. Nice stun out on eLvenpath. A lot of damage coming in. District 69 in control of the zone around the point, but nobody taking first blood just yet.
Bugzy on Drogos is always a dangerous prospect, but doesn't hit the fire spit there. Maybe a little bit of land nerves in the finals. It's been a close set. Hasn't been as warmed up as Carbon 6, but guess who is? Laizy, Bonkar, and Thiel all get kills here, and it seems like a pause will be taking place. But already you're just seeing maybe just the fact that they played that best of 5 and just got finished playing coming into effect here at the start of this game.
Really quick kills coming out, and you can see the big notable things here is the pluck on eLvenpath's Makoa. Mostly been that half shell just for the extra defense thus far. Bonkar going for the Eagle Eye, actually got first blood on eLvenpath. Huge headshot onto the Ancient Turtle, ripping through a lot of that HP. And then the 1v1 between Laizy and Bugzy. Laizy didn't even take a point of damage.
No, really weird, and maybe something was going on at the beginning because, you know, Bugzy hit a little bit of a weird fire spit. Maybe something's going on in the comms. He said, hold on, wait, and really wasn't following up on that. But either way, it seems Carbon 6 have the advantage, 33% on the objective now.
Another kill for gerrah. He's going to have to walk the long haul back from spawn here. 6 seconds till he even comes back. A nice trap set up for Laizy. 63% are already on the point and climbing. District 69, it's going to be very tough to work their way back in here safely. eLvenpath just takes so much damage and immediately put in the dirt by Bonkar.
Nice stuff. Headshot coming through for the Kinessa. The capture objective is already taken, though, by Carbon 6. They're going to put their name on it to start this finals off. They're going to take the lead and maybe just head nod over to D69 saying, yeah, you may be the favorite. Sure, we're playing with a sub Northernberg, but we've been through the toughest of competition, and we are ready to face you.
Puts big damage into PERDO as well. Laizy just going suicide bomb into the back line. Not able to find any kills. PERDO still very poked out. Thiel tried to follow up, tried to get to Laizy, tried to protect him and bail him out. Not going to work out. Not going to be the case here for Carbon 6.
This is good for Shipa just to get the long-range zone, but again, I wonder about this Grok getting picked up. They don't have anything to actively get to the Kinessa. The Lex, relatively short range. The Drogos midair, super exposed while he's flying into the back line, and as a sniper, you're not worried about Grok shock pulses.
Big damage, big fire spit, long-range precision strike from Bugzy. Able to put 2 members of Carbon 6 extremely low. One pickup, though. PERDO did fall to Bonkar's Kinessa, but not a lot of ground gained off the back of the pick.
They're going with the pluck as well. Very interesting stuff for eLvenpath on Makoa. Seems like he may just be trying to really capitalize off of getting the right hook, the right pull, and making it all count. But so far, minute 18, slow push. Both teams taking it easy, taking it steady. Don't want to
Gotta feel each other out. These guys very much so respect each other. Want to definitely be careful when fighting each other. Can't give anyone an inch or they will take a mile. Northernberg first pick in this engagement. PERDO shut down at the start once again.
Still throwing mines out, just zoning them largely. The Headhunter is available for Kinessa. She has the opportunity to increase that damage, and the Dragon Punch just might get things started. Bugzy picks up Laizy. Fire Spit could do a lot of damage, but will he get a kill? He needs one more, and Kinessa's finding him now, and he will. Bonkar gets the kill onto the Dragon.
Could be a good opportunity to drop the law here. PERDO is just going to continue to surge forward, left clicking. Bonkar needs to hit a big headshot here. Lands one onto PERDO, forces him back for the time being. eLvenpath cleans up Bird, and 35 seconds remain for Carbon 6 to try and get their feet under them once again.
Dangerous spot there for PERDO. He's got to not stick his head out too hard, but look at this, the Bomb King. Pluck maybe looking to be the answer. They're going to finish him off. Enough damage means just one shot from Maldamba. That 450 poison coming out of that snake. We're which Nick likes to call O-Long Johnson for some reason. Just enough to finish him off and put him back to base.
Pretty aggressive move there from Laizy. I don't know if his team's going to be happy with him giving up that life. And now with Thiel going down as well, 6 seconds on the clock, Carbon6 likely to just back off this one.
Aren't we noticing such a different style of play between both these teams? Now look at the respect they have for each other. Nobody's going in. This is a totally different feel than when Carbon6 were playing against Kanga.
Yeah, and Laizy on this bomb can kind of just has that one style of play, just that full aggro. You could see him getting picked off pretty early in that engagement. D69 looking like they want to just try and abuse that. They themselves aren't getting super aggressive. They're waiting for Laizy to come in, kind of put himself out of position, and you saw him collapse and make him the sole proprietary pick to start a lot of these fights. However, Carbon6 with that payload, they're going to be ahead in the credit department. You see their level 2 offensive items already ready to go. Bird going for that morale boost too, actually wants to have that illusory rift. The AoE raid heals up as much as possible. Cauterize 3s across the board. Northernberg just with the record too, because there's not a lot of shield presence on District 69.
4 ultimates apiece for D69 and Carbon6. Which ones will make the difference? Laizy has the King Bomb. Just going to throw one in the air, try to detonate, misses 2, gets pulled in, plus damage. He's up in the air, he's gonna die. No way he's getting out of that one. PERDO, the law, trying to find justice, hits Knessa in the head, looking for more, but he's so far away, can't quite get to the sniper.
And frankly, that's the way I want to see District 69 play with the pluck. Just play it slow. Every single time the dredge anchors up, you have the kill potential. That legendary card offers so much extra burst damage.
And that's what they're gonna do, but what can you do when the pluck legendary you're talking about gets taken down with a Knessa snipe? And there is the Dread Serpent coming through. It's gonna set some stuff up, but Rampage for bonkar doesn't need any setup. Laizy picks up another. Dome Shield comes out, and Carbon6 have retaken the point.
Great movement here from bonkar to get into a position to clean up some of these kills. bugzy and PERDO, the only 2 left. Nice shot from Northernberg, looking for bugzy, pops the heat haze, gonna put some hurt onto eLvenpath. Laizy gets aggressive into the backline, cleans up both of those kills, and that is likely to be this second payload captured again for Carbon6.
Northernberg had some great moments. eLvenpath trying to get back. He's going to use the Ancient Rage.
This is aggressive.
It is very aggressive, but will it pay off? Planet comes through. Who's going to win, the Turtle or the Bowmaster? Northernberg will fall the sub for Carbon6. Will it end up being enough? But eLvenpath, despite all that health and damage, is not able to do it by himself. Carbon6 take the lead one more time.
So he drops that ultimate there, and while it is very aggressive, while we weren't quite expecting that, better late than never. Better there, but just to give himself a chance. He will have plenty of time to get that charged up before this payload pushes into his base. We hope, we think. Obviously, Carbon6, if they keep their momentum high, they could be able to punish that.
The other thing we don't really mention so much about Makoa is the fact that when you go half shell, you lose some of the charge potential for your ultimate, because it's based off sometimes the damage that you're doing, and that means that you can be that much more effective in those clutch moments if you've got that Ancient Rage to turn to. 20% now, the pluck gets pulled, 5 extra percent. He's gonna get 10 more, and Shipa picks up 2 kills off of that.
Very important for those to come through. Laizy looking for more. Nice fire spit. One more rocket will do it. Laizy does go down. So much crowd control. You can see the ripen gourd really starting to pay off for gerrah.
I love the Dragon Punch being available here, but he doesn't have to use it. That's the benefit. bugzy, you know, talking about switching between a more aggressive Drogoz or a more laid-back Drogoz, seems, Nick, like he's picked more of the laid-back version for this match.
Shipa cleaning up 4 kills total in that engagement, just continuing to search for this Grok. Can get a lot of momentum, a lot of potential dismounts here. With that Ying, you can see the shock pulse just ding, 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 ping-ponging around in the back line. Every time it hits one of those enemy heroes on Carbon6, it will dismount them and give them a very long walk back to the payload.
And that's where Grok is not necessarily better, but a little bit more plug and play. There's a lot Eevee has to do, a lot of things that can go wrong. One misstep and she's dead, even though she's very good at dismounting and zoning and staying alive. But Grok hits the shock pulse, it can hit 5 others and completely throw away a potential retake.
Especially against 2 deployable characters, Ying and Barrack. It gives him a guaranteed target to bounce his shock pulse off. 44 seconds remaining here. Laizy getting aggressive now, looking for it. He's going to land one. Shipa has the healing totem down, so it's going to be very difficult to win this duel for Laizy.
He's got the King Bomb too. Does he use it here? They've got 2-1. The momentum could be big, but he's falling real low. PERDO, one more shot, one more headshot could put him at about 100 health, and that's not a place Laizy wants to be. He knows he needs to hit these big shots, but right now he is not winning this poke battle, even though D69 will back off for now.
Just to head back to that point we made earlier, eLvenpath only at 65% on his also struggling to get that charge, and if this fight goes south for them, it could be something that District 69 look to point to in the future and say, look, Elvin, you got to be careful about when you pop that ultimate if you're not going to get a charge back up. Here comes Shipa once again, though. A lot of good targets for us. Shock pulse, a lot of burst damage coming out from the planet. 2 kills for 1, 2 kills for 2. D69, 3v3.
The confidence there from Shipa. He knows he's got his immunity, got the Ghost Walk available for him. Could have not taken any damage there, but instead doesn't need to do it. for the Planet, and he feels that he has the confidence, the damage, and the just spray, apparently, to be able to handle any
9
situation.
ultimates ready to go for Carbon 6 and District 69. eLvenpath just 10% off the mark, but immediately into that Resilience 3. It's going to do a couple of things for him. Obviously, Northernberg, the big part of Shaolin's kit is the Impaler Arrow Stun immediately down into the Planet. This is largely negated now by Resilience, as well as 2 stuns available for Laizy. One off the King Bomb, which is ultimate, which he does have, and his Grumpy Bomb, which is going to provide big area control after 3 seconds. 5
ultimates for Carbon 6, 4 for D69, but eLvenpath's Ancient Rage is really close. Talked about Resilience just now. Could be the tide turner, especially since Makoa no longer CC immune during his ultimate, so he will be counting on that card to get him out of a big King Bomb or a big Grumpy Bomb stun he doesn't intend to take. All of a sudden, bugzy firing in the air, trying to get this party started.
Looking for some kind of damage there. Resilience immediately having an effect. eLvenpath stunned out, but it let go early. Bonkar's got a good angle on this fight. Gerrah, though, first blood on the Laizy. That's a big pick for D69.
Oh, that's big. Shipa goes down in Tempest, and that ultimate is largely negated. He's trying to find the Kinesis, and bugzy does. Can he 2v1 here? Northernberg has the sights, and he will not be failed by them. He goes ahead and picks up a kill onto the Dragon, and now PERDO trying to find one more. A shot misses yet again, but the right click will clean it up. Double kill for PERDO. Justice is served.
Coming in guns blazing. Resilience having another impact for eLvenpath. Gets him out of the stun. He survives. That's why we see players picking up this item. Immediate crowd control reduction. So impactful. Laizy gets nothing for his ultimate. Headhunter got nothing. Carbon 6 whiffing on a lot of their ultimates. And D69 total control of the point.
And this is where things get serious. This is what they're looking for. Right now, you see the Law available for him. Just going to heal up with Fortitude 4. 650 health back after just using his right click. And that in pursuit, Nick, it just cleaned up 2 kills. I mean, that's about as good as it gets.
2 minutes remain on the payload push here. Law available, doesn't need it. eLvenpath and PERDO come on top of Laizy here. Now surging forward under the shell, under the protection of eLvenpath.
When you think about it, when you're plucking, you're using the 80% damage. I mean, he's hitting for so high, 1100. You add another headshot from PERDO, that's 2K. Maybe you add, just a body shot. That's still 900 that you're doing onto the Bomb King, and that's almost enough to get him out of the fight immediately. I like the pluck direction, whereas we mostly see Half Shell coming up from a defensive approach. D69 say, we're playing aggressive. We're just going to kill you. We're not going to try and survive you.
PERDO on this Lex with the bounty mechanic is actually helping keep his team in the game. Did manage to get his offensive cauterized to level 3 before this round, whereas the rest of his offensive items for his teammates are only level 2.
eLvenpath in trouble, 8 streak, and that will go down, and that will feed a few credits to Bird, and in fact, a little bit of an ultimate charge to him as well, and he's just going to use it, make sure everybody stays nice and healthy, and Carbon 6 finally found an answer to this push.
2 kills coming through now, a minute remain. D69 have plenty of time to get this one pushed, and they can get their feet under them once again. Have maybe 1, 2 if they're lucky, if they're quick attempts at pushing this through to conversion. They really could like to put the game away here. Carbon 6, if they can hold, if they can defend, will benefit from a defense point and tie the game up 3-3.
bugzy largely been a little silent here. PERDO maybe had a little bit more of the highlight reel, and eLvenpath's pluck so clutch to setting up the pace, setting up the plays for this team. Gerrah still casually just doing what he needs to do, but bugzy, just as I mentioned him, starts to speak up real loud. Direct shot takes down Laizy in the back.
This could come close here. Big kill on the Northernberg potentially. Nice Dread Serpent from Gerrah, still sitting on that Dredge Anchor. Bird manages to find the angle and shut down bugzy. eLvenpath does clean up Thiel on the front side. eLvenpath now with 2, almost charged on his Ancient Rage as well.
eLvenpath cleans up Northernberg, which bugzy missed, and then helps to clean up Bird for PERDO, and bonkar could be in trouble here. He's got the Retribution target on, so he's going to be able to win the peak battle, but he's so low, he's missing every shot. bonkar doing a great job of stalling him out, and Laizy will clean up and help his friend to stay alive.
12 seconds remain here. PERDO dropping down. eLvenpath coming roaring in on that horse. You can see on the right side of Northernberg's screen here. Going to try to make it out of the mine, but a nice Kinesis mine placement shuts him down immediately, and that's probably going to be the full retreat here from D69. Tied it all up, 3-3.
Now Half Shell is going to be probably more consistent in staying in the fight, sustaining for your team, and having these elongated types of engagements. But now, honestly, it could be that one pluck makes the big difference in this fight.
Pretty much all tied up here in terms of offensive items. PERDO and Shipa with the cauterized 3s, and Thiel only at the cauterized 2 mark, but Laizy and bonkar both going to be able to bring that level 3 to the table here. Notable ultimates up. The Dome Shield, the Illusory Rift is nearly there. He'll have that relevant in this fight. Heat Haze for Northernberg and a big King Bomb. It's the big question mark for Carbon 6. Can Laizy, with all this pressure on him in the grand finals of the Masters land his dreaded ultimate?
Yeah, that's right. He's had his moments where he hasn't. And it's always difficult for you knowing you're getting watched by thousands of people in your community and who don't even know you commenting on it. But that's what Land's about. You got to make the big plays. Who's going to make them now? Northernberg, the sub. Will he pull a bonkar and finish one off? Laizy gets Shipa. Northernberg still alive, firing in a Shaolin, and Laizy given the freedom to roam ahead and try to pressure eLvenpath.
Oh, unfortunately, doesn't get pulled all the way up onto the high ground here. Big clumping from D69 could look to be punished by King Bomb.
Nice grumpy bomb out there to zone. This is going to do a lot. It's just going to stave off D69 for now, and PERDO, if he goes down, that's a lot of damage. They're counting on PERDO. Going to get taken down by Laizy. King Bomb still available, and he might be looking to use it soon.
30% on the point for D69. Wrapping around. Laizy finds 2 more kills. Bugzy doesn't connect with the Dragon Punch. Northernberg full and healthy. Got Grok stuck in the corner here. Headhunter is popped.
Very good stuff there. The Ghost walking away. bonkar looking to find some. Getting some damage on, though. But 96%, 99 dome shield out here. Carbon 6 look pretty ready to clean this up, but eLvenpath's got one last thing to say about it. Ancient Rage gets popped.
Pops the Ancient Rage, but burned through all of that HP so quickly. Bomb King doesn't care how much health you have. He's got the burst damage to punch it through, and Carbon 6 find the victory in game number 1.
Nice fade away, Dread Serpent there, but nobody on the point to contest, and that will prove to be Carbon 6's victory. To me, these guys look ready. They look like they've gone through everything that they would need to go through to be prepared for this type of a set. I mean, how much of that how much of that first set with Kanga plays into the fact that they're warmed up and ready to go here against D69?
I think the biggest thing is they've just played each other so much. These two teams, it's just week in and week out, both of them in the grand finals of community tournaments, of the qualifying tournaments. I just feel like they know the rosters inside and out. It all comes down to just the performance of the individuals on the given day. These sets pretty much go 50-50 throughout the qualification process.
And, you know, if you're looking at the history between Kanga and Carbon 6, the player who had the Bomb King, his team won every single match, and now we do see the Bomb King start off with Carbon 6, which means it would end up there if it all came down to it. Largely, this set is going to be about D69 finding an answer to Bomb King, getting a win when they don't have them.
So eLvenpath, I think, right out of the gate, trying something different, going for the pluck instead of the half shell.
Yeah.
The most defensive option for Makoa this time. Didn't seem as though it really panned out. Only 36k damage. Pretty much the lowest on his team, but bugzy as well, largely shut down by the Kinessa. bonkar, 97,000 damage, only 66 for the Dragon.
And I think to me what comes down to the weird pick here, the one that I would have done differently if I had a chance to go back, was the Grok. I don't think the Grok was what they needed in this lineup. Despite Grok being typically just a good pick on paper against Barrack and against Bird, I just didn't see the impact that he was going to have in this game being more or better than what an Eevee would have done to pressure bonkar out of these fights.
Playing Kinessa there, bonkar had a big task at hand to shut down bugzy on the Drogos. It's the primary counter that Carbon 6 had to the infamous Drogos player. And a couple of things that could have gone different. I mean, the early Shaolin, instead of the Drogos, could have come through. You put Shipa on that. He has already probably the most outstanding impact on the character throughout this tournament. And then you have a lot of flexibility on bugzy. You could have gone for the Eevee.
Yeah.
You could have gone for he can even do Grok. I mean, he's got a lot of flexibility.
Bugzy plays every single champion in this game, and that's the point of having a guy like Bugzy on your roster. You could just flex your draft a little bit more, but, you know, bonkar, he's one of the better guys on Burrito and, Carbon 6 that really feels passion about winning this set. He's always yelling. Bugzy, another guy, feels passion, maybe hides a little bit outside, but he really cares about this.
It's a really tough map, and this might even come back to we talked about the stubbornness back in the day of D69. Despite it really not being the right pick for the situation, this guy is just so good at the character. A lot of times he can pull it off, but bonkar showing that he is, when he's on the counter, he's got the caliber to fight just about anyone.
Yeah, I wouldn't. It's not even that Bugzy is had a bad game. It wasn't a superstar game, and that's what we expect out of this guy. When you have a Kobe, you have a LeBron, you have a Peyton Manning on your team, you expect them to make the big throws, the big plays.
I think they're trying something different, which I don't mind for game number one, right? Because there are going to be games where they have Bomb King, there are going to be games without it, and the sooner they can figure out how to play around it better, they should come out on top of this set, and having a good performance despite not having Makoa is going to be very important for Thiel here.
You know, I agree, and largely you can look at it like this, right? Kanga, you know, Carbon 6, I keep harping back to this, but even look at Astral Authority and D69. So many of these games, look at Eager and Kanga, so many of these games came down to 3-3. Whoever had Bomb King, whatever. You have 1 point fight to win, and if you can execute, that's great. And it doesn't really matter which side the king is on. If you can execute, you can win. And we just haven't seen, I just think what Bomb King allows is less mistakes for the enemy team. If they make one mistake, he could just take advantage of it so big.
Margin for error. And Shipa playing the Grok in that last game has had an immense impact when he's on characters like Shaolin, doing his best on the Grok. Mostly picked up just to punish all the deployables, all the free targets to bounce that shock pulse off of. And it can be very impactful on a map like this if the momentum's on your side. Those dismounts that come off the back of the Grok pulse is going to be very important.
It can. Like, I think that, you know, just my opinion here is just that you're doing something that the map maybe isn't intended to be good at. You know, there's not a lot happening in that point fight except for very specific moments. A lot of it's happening at range around the point fight where you see a lot of the snipers like the Shaolin and the Kinessa really having an impact. And people trying to get picks, trying to get a pull. Nobody wants to go into the Igloo. They only do it when they have to or when they have a clear-cut advantage. So basing it off of that, I think they were just hoping that they would snowball this a little bit more with that Pluck legendary eLvenpath.
Snowballing, very important in this series for this guy in particular. Laizy known to be pretty nervous dude, tilt every now and again if he gets first blooded or if he misses an ult or something like that. So having a strong performance right out of the gate bodes very well for Carbon 6.
Oh yeah, no, these teams, like you mentioned, like we've mentioned all day, very even. It's going to be the plays that really separate them here in this upcoming game. The draft, it's important too, and we're going to go into that right now.
So D69 out with first pick. The notable thing here is the Drogos. Going to be much stronger on Serpent Beach than it was on Frozen Guard. There's a lot of high ground you can look to hold. Very strong picks for Carbon 6. Thiel on Makoa, it's synonymous just like Bugzy is with Drogos. Northernberg, the substitute player for Carbon 6.
Oh yeah.
Going to be very important to keep him comfortable throughout this series. But most of the time he's getting either Drogos or Shaolin. It's going to be very difficult for District 69 to get both of those picks. So the sub, not going to be a hindrance this series.
Absolutely. And you know, you have the opportunity whenever you want, either with it's after your first pick or in your top two, to grab one of those. And they're so good right now in this meta, it's totally fine if you prioritize it. But right now, this makes sense. Shipa, he had a game-changing performance against Astral Authority earlier on in the first set of the day with Shaolin. He's looking to do that one more time.
This is a big, strong draft here from District 69 thus far. Carbon 6, what healer will they take? Maldamba, pretty strong on this map. I think a little bit stronger than Ying for his ability to heal people on the high ground, hovering the Torvald, actually. And they're not going to lock him in, hovering a Victor here. Just looking for a couple of hit scan answers, whether it be Victor, whether it be a Lex, but this time it's going to be the Lex.
I wonder what that's really for. I mean, Victor does well on these maps, but not a lot of aerial threats. Maybe just to burst down the Bomb King at this point and provide a little bit of extra coverage. There are a lot of nooks and crannies he can hide, get around certain rooms, and stay safe, especially since he doesn't have to worry about the Drogos fire spitting and ruining his day while he's hiding away. Lex, though, looking to be hovered by D69. And PERDO, the way he played, I'm feeling it.
And Droxus, not something we've seen a lot of throughout this tournament as a result of Lex, so it's going to be the Buck this time. PERDO, I haven't seen him play this. I think he's played it maybe once in the tournament, maybe on day one.
Yeah, no, not a lot. And I think PERDO, the only guy who in this tournament has really felt fine going into Buck. We had Shady Shades on Eager, who was phenomenal Buck, but just didn't feel comfortable in this tournament playing him. Ruckus selected last for Carbon 6. And, you know, Nick, who do you give the edge to here?
I really like District 69's grab. It feels like they got almost everything they wanted. The Victor and the Ruckus, they're pretty big switch-ups here for Burrito. It's not something we really associate Laizy with or something we really associate Bonkar with a lot of the times, but it's going to be accelerant for Bugzy's Bomb King. Shipa taking the recurve on his Shaolin. Bounce House for PERDO's Buck. Ripen Gourd for Gerrah's Maldamba and Architectonics. for Barrick.
Bird's going to be running focusing lens. It will be half shell for Makoa. It's going to be Fusillade for Drogoz, Flux Generator for Ruckus, and Gunnery for Victor. 15% more damage. And boy, bugzy doesn't seem to need it here. He's doing plenty of damage. Going to poppy bomb into the back line. He's finding a few, but he's getting picked by Thiel. He's not going to pay 10 cents for that one. Thiel right on the money, and Northernberg gets the first kill.
Nice peel provided from Carbon 6. It's going to be exactly the type of play that they need. It's so important to get that Bomb King down early, and that's, you know, the patient play. So I like the adjustment because we're seeing a lot of Bomb King players get super aggressive into backlines and not expect to be taken down, not expect to be challenged.
At this point, you can't be the Bomb King and expect for people to ignore you, but largely that's what PERDO's there for. Buck, he takes so much attention. He's in your face, jumping in and around, and he's the guy who's supposed to clear up a little bit of this front line rather than having him a Fernando running up front like Thiel would do and really make it easy for Bomb King to do the deed.
So difficult to keep this backline safe, however, from both Laizy and from PERDO. A dynamic duo that's going to be able to dive
96.
Very deep, be very dangerous in the backline. 99 now for Carbon 6. D69, though, starting to swing the fight a little bit in their favor. Pushed into overtime, however. Someone's got to step a foot on here. It's got to be bugzy.
They have him in the backside. They don't really see him yet. Ruckus, if he goes down, could be in trouble, but Thiel is going to clean up one, and Carbon 6 are going to take the lead over D69 in game 2 again. And now it seems that they're ready to push. 2 minutes, 19 seconds on the clock, and they just got a kill on a bugzy.
So a good start here for Carbon 6. They need to win these early points with the double tank composition. Their damage isn't going to be as high. Their mitigation, their staying power on these two frontliners isn't going to be as much as it is ever right now. So these early points are extremely important.
PERDO on this Buck largely was one of the best Buck performers we've ever seen on this map, but that was in tandem with the Torvald. Now with the Granddaddy, the tank having fallen out of this current meta for most of these teams, at least for now, Buck doesn't just seem to have the type of impact that he's had before.
Now these two tanks pretty caught out here from Carbon 6, might actually go down. Bugzy's got the free angle. Beautiful shell shield from Thiel to keep bonkar safe for the time being. Now it's District 69, unable to capitalize on those picks. Long range hook onto eLvenpath. Can they clean him up? And they do. King Bomb up in the air, comes down immediately onto bonkar, but it's not enough damage. Northernberg keeping his backline safe.
Huge plays by the sub for Carbon 6 coming through. They've just had a history of subs playing big when it matters. Northernberg following suit with that rhetoric and able to finish off bugzy after a great King Bomb. 320 because of the focusing lens, burst damage from Bird, and now they're moving forward. They've kept this move and this push steamrolling, and bugzy could fall. He does.
Clutch hooks, need the Hexafire, need nice value from the Hi-Rez. There's a barrage as well. Carbon 6 just trying to keep the momentum going, and they do. 2-0.
Laizy maybe lucks out there. Don't know if he gets all of his ultimate or any of it off. He gets 42%. He was going to use it for no reason. He already had the point, and now he's got half of it ready to go at the next spawn.
Nice job canceling it out. So going to be able to hit the mark, the level 2 for their offensive items. And the big thing here is that that was quick enough to where District 69 haven't been able to get enough credits to get their offensive items to level 2. You can see bugzy, Shipa still on the level 1 cauterizes, PERDO and eLvenpath still on the level 1, or the level 1 wreckers and cauterizes, excuse me. So not going to have the same type of pressure. You look at Northernberg with the wrecker 2s, as well as both Laizy and bonkar with the cauterized 2, and as well as a master riding. So bonkar going to have very favorable positioning heading into this fight.
How can PERDO impact this game? He has often been the playmaker for this team when things aren't going well. Bugzy largely kind of having one of those performances where he's not necessarily stealing the show, which is unusual for him, despite being, you know, such a great player in so many different roles. But PERDO's going to have to carry a lot of this weight when things don't seem to be going well. It's 2-0. If it gets 3-0, could be trouble for D69.
A lot of members of D69 split up right now. PERDO actually hitting his head, trying to stay safe from this Victor pressure, winding up the Dragon Punch, looking for someone, looking for anyone. It's going to be eLvenpath taken down, and just no pressure on this Drogoz, no hit scan to take it out.
Northernberg doing a great job of just doing what he needs to do, and PERDO comes in, only 36% for Carbon 6, and if they have found an answer to bonkar, they certainly haven't showed it. This guy's on a 15 streak, make it 16, and they just can't get this Goblin and Mech off the point.
These tanks are just being shut down. Double kill for bonkar. Carbon 6, 80% and climbing on the point, looking to go up 3-0. The tanks are shredding D69.
And I love this adaptation that D69 have yet to really do their own, but really Carbon 6 to be able to carbon copy what they've seen Astral Authority work with extremely well. The Ruckus, largely not played
Thiel.
the first day, and now being a huge component. 20 streak for him as to why they're beating Bomb King.
Thiel is nailing these hooks. He has the Chronos 2 online, so just 5-6 seconds every time somebody's getting dragged out of position from District 69. Laizy getting extremely aggressive here. Comes out with 100 HP, needs to be safe here. Gets around the corner, could get healed up. bugzy though, double kill.
Laizy running school over there. Victor 101 left with 101 health and able to still survive. But it does seem like D69 will survive another day. Thiel's going to jump down into the drink and regroup with his teammates, find another opportunity to move forward and see if they can push this payload. They are on the precipice of winning game 2, 4-0.
bugzy looking to set up a big trap here. They surrender a lot of ultimate charge with those streaks going down. Laizy just bombarding with grenades from a distance. I think he spots out this trap. If he goes through this door and not sees those 6 bombs there, he'll just get insta-gibbed.
That's incredibly important too. Kanga, largely some of the teams we've seen, they set the bombs up so well, but they don't have the Makoa to pull them in. So it's up to Laizy and Carbon 6 to be aware of their surroundings so they don't fall into it. Damage coming through. Thiel misses a hook, 10 cents for that, but he's still largely being a huge impact for his team.
1 minute remains here on the payload push. Carbon 6 just looking for some type of angle. Probably going to play off the dredge anchor. PERDO very deep into the back line. bugzy's coming in to try and follow it up there. Need to take out Laizy, and they do.
Good movement there. bugzy comes in over the top. Can't see him until it's too late. Bomb King's burst too strong. Bird here trying to burst Buck out. Actually doing the job here. bugzy doesn't understand. Bird focusing lands. He knows how to play. He's going to get some healing too. bugzy could be in trouble here. The hunter becomes the hunted. Don't send a rabbit to kill a fox.
No, just because he's a support doesn't mean he doesn't have aim. Bird, largely known for being good at everything, basically, in this game. Big kill there from Shipa onto Laizy, down into Planet, shreds through the shell shield. Another nice stun from gerrah comes through.
And it feels like, you know, you could say Ying, maybe a little bit of Paladins royalty there. You could also coin that as don't send a king to kill a queen. We all know the women really run things out here, man, and we're just trying to survive. King Bomb rolling through. He has the opportunity, but why does he need to use it? He's already got the defense coming strong, and Bomb King, despite losing out the 1v1, largely will probably be able to zone out and give D69 their first point of the day.
So Carbon 6 have all 5 of their ultimates, but so do District 69, as well as their later game offensive options here. bugzy with the Wrecker 3 as well as Shipa. But the cauterized pressure, being on PERDO and being on eLvenpath, it's not going to be super heavy. PERDO has to be in the fight. Buck is a very in and out character. eLvenpath just doesn't have the range to reach some of these characters like Northernberg, like Laizy. And a big part of why District 69, I think, is behind right now is they don't have a strong answer for Northernberg.
And we saw everyone on D69 firing on all cylinders, and it feels like they've fallen flat here. gerrah was hitting. Drogos is out of the sky. He hasn't done that to Northernberg, it feels like, all game. PERDO couldn't miss a shot. bugzy was unstoppable. Shipa changing, winning 2v1s. We've got to see that here if they have a chance of beating Carbon 6.
All 5 ultimates, all 10 ultimates in the game. Grumpy Bomb coming out to zone on the point. High ground salvo coming out of Northernberg. Long range poke. Thiel immediately landing one of his hooks. King Bomb not going to get up onto the high ground. Not going to spot out Laizy. There it is. Big trade.
Big stuff. There's the Ying ultimate, though. She's trying to get her heals off. And there's the CC Immune ultimate from Buck doing double damage. Trying to land in on Northernberg. He will find the kill. Will he stay alive? He will not. But lovely, lovely play and positioning there by D69. Using those ultimates to save each other. But it has worked.
Trading out kill for kill, but 2 frontliners still alive for Carbon 6, so they're going to be the ones that are free to push out onto this point. Hexafire still available. Ancient Rage and Dragon Punch is going to be very good, as District 69 is going to be forced to push their way back. Here comes the Hexafire in combination with the Dome Shield. eLvenpath just has to peace out.
Couldn't believe gerrah survived out of that one, but he did not at the end, able to finish him off with that incredible damage coming out from Ruckus, and he's been the answer that they've been looking for to the Bomb King pressure. And now he seems like that bugzy here, being totally countered a lot of this game, is on a 5 streak, able to just give D69 a bit of respite. They're 66%. They might be able to start tying this thing back up.
Dragon Punch still on the table for Northernberg. Laizy and bonkar looking to push this one back in. Here comes bonkar. He gets countered out by the Impaler arrow. It's winded up. It's coming through. It's going to find PERDO, but too little, too late. D69 come away with the payload.
Salvo's going to connect to a lot. Nice shot by Northernberg. Still playing lights out is the sub for Carbon 6, but bugzy is going to try and find him through the window. The detonates aren't on point, but he's going to poppy bomb away. Northernberg now trying and figure out if he can finish off bugzy or if he's got to let him go back to base and just reset, and he will. 2 minutes 3 seconds on the payload push.
This is a big pickup for District 69. They stay alive in this round, but they guarantee themselves another chance. Carbon 6, even if they hold here, will not benefit off the defense point. Paladins, you cannot win on the defense. You have to capture a payload to win the game. So this one is going to be forced into the next round.
Shipa playing lights out right now. He's trying to finish bonkar off. He can do it. He might be the star, but he can't. PERDO, though, is going to do a lot of work. Bird finishing him off yet again, and bugzy on a 7 streak, cleaning up, picking up where Shipa left off. It seems like when Shipa and bugzy start playing, this set gets a lot closer, and King Bomb ready to maybe push this into conversion.
Poppy Bomb up onto the high ground. 1:23 remaining here. 2 ultimates, almost 3 for District 69, but Carbon 6, the respawns have come through. They've got 2 ultimates of their own. They're looking to make a stand.
That's a lot of damage. Laizy could be in trouble. If he falls here, they're going to lose a lot of pressure. He's got barrage, though, and he's counting on that, but they need a little bit of setup. Gerrah with the stun and with the heals, keeping his teams ready to go. He's still at the front of the payload. He's got the slither to avoid the damage if need be, but it doesn't seem like he will. Northernberg forced to jump down, but that won't be enough. The Dragon can't get there in time. Shipa back on a 6 streak. Things have changed. The game is tied. D69, Carbon 6 going into the final round.
I give all the credit for that conversion over to PERDO. Keeping Laizy distracted alongside bonkar in the back line. You could see it was just Bird out contesting the payload. I could just hear his voice in my head just screaming at his teammates, get out, guys. We have a payload to defend, and it was too little too late. He died first and was unable to keep bonkar alive from there on out. Big damage coming through from Shipa once again. 22,000 ahead of the King. Shipa showing up every time he gets Shaolin.
And I'm going to guarantee that before that last round, that damage was probably tied near around where Laizy and Northernberg were. I think Shipa now has turned on full gear, and he is 100% ready to keep on continuing this level of play. And if he is, D69 might be able to tie this up.
3-3 here. 4 ultimates for D69. Only 2 for Carbon 6. Here comes the barrage out on a Shipa. 2 big shells are going to land, but they're not going to be able to find the kill.
That's a huge miss by Laizy. Finds no kills off the barrage. Oh, man. They were counting off of that, and now they don't have that big ult. But guess what Northernberg does? He's got the Dragon Punch, but it's going to miss 2. 2 huge ults, and they can't get kills. In fact, PERDO's the one to do the deed.
Laizy needs to find this kill. 10 streak for bugzy, but he's going to be safe. He's going to come over the top. District 69 winning this fight in spades.
How did he stay alive? Bugzy didn't fall. Dragon Punch didn't hit. Barrage didn't hit. This is a lack of execution by Carbon 6. They played this game almost perfectly and now are at the precipice of falling and losing after such a great performance.
Falling apart. This would have been a big win for them as they do have first pick next game. They've got one last chance to get this up, but the King Bomb, there's so much going the way of D69. Dome Shield on the point. Overtime is started. However, bonkar throws his dead corpse onto the point, but D69 have all the cards.
And this is not a surprise to anybody watching. D69 tie things up with Carbon 6, formerly Burrito.
That's a big drop for C6.
And you know what? It is a big drop for C6, but it was a must-win for D69. The fact that they had Bomb King and the fact that they were almost about to lose that game, that could have been set over.
Shipa on his Shaolin having a really big impact performance as well, and just not able to execute down the stretch was Carbon 6. A lot of ultimates that just barely off the mark. The Dragon Punch just short with that jet fuel, and the last shell from Barrage not connecting with Shipa. This could have been a very different tale.
Those hurt more than other ones. The close ones sting. They stay with you. Laizy, and you mentioned him kind of sometimes falling to tilt, falling to disappointment.
That was their game to win. I feel as though D69 didn't have a great answer for Northernberg. We really needed to see him go off this game. 63,000 damage, beat out just by Laizy on the Victor. And PERDO having a decent game on his buck, despite us not really agreeing with it. They did a nice job, dynamic duo in the back line, bugzy and PERDO. When Carbon 6 were able to slow play it and kind of deal with those two in the aggression, not the case in the last point fight, though. It was just all on the back foot, and that's when PERDO and bugzy were able to shine.
I mean, for a damage dealer to only have 5 deaths, that's pretty impressive. Look at the other damage dealers and their death count.
That's been Shaolin this whole tournament. Just top damage, least deaths. He's just not feeling any pressure.
Yeah, and that's why I think PERDO's buck pick was better than it looked on paper. I think the fact that when you take EVs, when you take PERDOs, they attract so much attention. And then you have a Bomb King. You compound on that. You've got to pay attention to both of those. You can't let a buck run wild or go buck wild, and you can't let a Bomb King just stay in your face. You got to deal with him. Shipa's the last one you have to worry about, but he's the most damaging.
108K there, the silent assassin. Shipa playing a wide variety of roles. Goes to the Grok in game 1, but back on the Shaolin, his impact performance in this tournament. In the last set, absolutely lights out performance. Continuing that is going to be key against Carbon 6.
That's really what they want to find out of their leaders in the damage dealer category. And largely what was interesting to see is that Northernberg, although having these great moments to start out the game, just kind of fell off in terms of his effectiveness, in terms of his special moments that he had less and less of as the game went on, and Shipa and bugzy started to get their rhythm.
The Drogos, the Dragon Punch. I thought they really had it, honestly, because Carbon 6 were in control of the zone around the point, and the Dragon Punch, that's exactly when you want to have it. When it's likely to land is when your enemies have to come into you, and you're chasing people out with a Dragon Punch, and you leave yourself very vulnerable, and you saw just that happen. He was trying to chase down the Bomb King with it, didn't have enough fuel to get there, and punished almost immediately.
And that's what I love about Drogo specifically. You know, largely we say he's a champion that a lot of times, you know, he got the same cries for nerfs. He's so good from people just like Bomb King is now, maybe not at this high degree in terms of having an impact at this land, but throughout the scene, he has been largely just as impactful as first pick and a must-have to win your games. But he's got such a high-risk, high-reward ult. And we've seen in the Eager Games Bitey, he dropped 2 of those Drogo's ults, and that changed the game. This one in the last fight, I think, could have changed this for Carbon 6.
Yeah, a big part of that, I think, is also Torvald falling out of the meta. He was a good character to not only amplify what Drogo's already does well and just huge amounts of direct damage, but keeping him safe. Dragon Punch can leave you very vulnerable if you're chasing people down with it, and that 2,000 HP protection shield is a way to keep him safe. Pulling out something we really haven't seen much of. I think he's really been the only one to play it. PERDO on this Buck. Personally, I think the Lex probably could have been a better option for him to shut down Northernberg.
But you know, Buck, just the big health pool, I think that's a big thing a lot of people don't realize. It's that no matter what, Buck is not a guy, unless you are Shaolin typically, that you could just deal with right away. It usually takes a couple shots, 1 extra than you would normally have to do, maybe even 2 extra onto a certain champion if he's building Haven or Blast Shields. And that just means that's time freed up for your other damage dealers. And when you're running 3, when you're not in the 2-tank meta that we aren't in or didn't see D69 pick up last game, that means everything to a Shaolin or a Bomb King on your side.
High ground control is so important in that previous map, Serpent Beach, and Buck just a little bit better at that. That could be the reason that tilted them towards the Buck instead of the Lex. On top of the fact that PERDO is just really, really good, not only at that character, but on that map with the Buck. And going deep into this series when some of the less common maps start coming out, it's really going to push these teams to their limits in terms of experience and practice and who can come out on top and what.
That's going to be exciting. I mean, D69 going to face off against Fish Market here, and Carbon 6 is most likely Bomb King, played by Laizy. Fish Market, one of the maps that I think players are maybe warming up to now, seeing how much of an impact it has been in the international games they've been playing, and probably going up to DreamHack in the summer. We'll need to learn all of these maps and more, but not been the favorite unless they're really forced onto it.
It's pretty been good to see the snowball on Fish Market as well. Kind of hard to defend here. When you give up the point, you really have to fall back almost to your spawn, because there's not a lot of great spots to defend out on the map, and just naturally giving up 80% of that payload push. And with the Bomb King on their side, I mean, Carbon 6 just found the win over Kango with this pick on this map. Laizy had an absolute lights out performance with the character.
Here's the real thing. Would you bet basically 3 times, maybe 4 times out of 7 that bugzy's going to have enough of a good game on Drogos to be better than a lineup with Bomb King? I mean, largely, I would. I think he's shown enough. If he just has 1 lights out game, he's getting Drogos, and he can carry this. That just changes everything for D69.
Yeah, how good can he do on Fish Market? Will they take any Kinessa? Will they look towards that? Something that Kanga leaned on a little bit when it came to shutting it down. And PERDO back to the Buck.
What's this about?
Probably trying to counter out this Shaolin, but Shaolin does a good job looking out for himself. And I think this might be like testing Laizy's ability to change his playstyle as well, because he might have to play babysitter a little bit for this Shaolin. D69 do flash the Kinessa and then pick the Ying, so showing that they aren't afraid to take it. Do Carbon 6 go for it? They pick up the Maldamba, and this is the big question mark. What will they go with last? They need something hit scanned maybe to try and deal with this Drogos, but they're just going to go straight into the Fernando here, putting all of that weight on Shaolin to deal with bugzy.
Pretty interesting stuff, too. I was talking to some of the healers, actually. One of the members of Carbon 6, Bees, he coached them in the background. He loves Ying on Fish Market, actually, because he feels there's a lot of nooks and crannies to hide some of those illusions. Maybe that's why D69, who gerrah's been playing lights out on Maldamba, elect to go with her. Rounding things out with Victor, though, into a Fernando.
So no hit scan to deal with the Drogos from Carbon 6. It's a risk that they are willing to take, the Buck as well as the Victor. So some strange picks from District 69. It's going to be Shipa this time on the Buck. Northernberg taking Shaolin, recurve for him, Architectonics for Bonkers, Barrack, Spirits Chosen for Birds, Maldamba, Aegis for Thiel's Fernando, and Accelerant for Laizy's Bomb King.
And it's going to be the usual. You could drop the scoreboard. Bugzy, he's going to be running a Fuselage. Shipa on Bounce House. We'll see focusing lens on Ying, Gunnery for Victor, and the half shell for Thiel, or eLvenpath, excuse me, as he already gets going with that one. Northernberg in the back line uses a planet, now trying to find a little bit more damage. PERDO rounding out, seeing if he can get a grenade. He can. Bonkar could be down. First blood to D69.
24% on the point for D69. Lots of bombs raining around the corner. PERDO, very important first pickup here. Thiel on the point, just trying to contest. Doesn't want to let this capture point get out of control, but another kill for PERDO. So much damage pumping out of the Lone Wolf.
This is scary. Victor's had basically 3 kills here that he's been putting the finishing touches on, and now Laizy decides to shut him down, but is it too little, too late? And that will be the deciding factor here. 69% for D69.
Bonkar blocking that hook from eLvenpath, forcing D69 and the boys to fall back. 72% on the point, however, so one more small win will result in the payload for D69.
Shipa being a good distraction point for the Bomb King, and Buck just jumping around back wild. Something he's got to pay attention to. Bugzy, though, almost gets slayed. He does by Northernberg, and now Laizy looking to find more.
Not a single one of those planet shots did land on Buck, coming over the top. Thiel and Bonkar on the point for Carbon 6, clawing their way back, now ahead of District 69. Bugzy falling on the Drogos has seemed to dismantle their team fight.
And that was a huge pickup by Northernberg and Laizy combining to take down Bugzy. But again, how long can you put him down? This guy's got such a strong history of performing well with Drogos. There's another fire spitting. Just speak of the devil. PERDO and Bugzy come to combine and finish him off. PERDO with another kill. That barrage hits. And he's got one more. Bugzy's going to get the final one, and overtime will take away. D69 will win it.
The counter aggression from PERDO has been absolutely phenomenal, going immediately without hesitation into his barrage to keep Bugzy safe. May have been the clutch factor, the nail in the coffin for District 69 capturing this first payload.
This unbelievable play between both of these teams. It's like we're watching the Lakers and the Celtics back in the olden days. These two teams just so even, so good, so skilled, and just bringing out the best of the best right now. And guess what, Bugzy? He decides it's time to get that one punch going on. He will hit it. The Bomb King, Grumpy Bomb, lovely to not actually stun him, though he will fall.
The trade out here probably going to be worth it for Carbon 6 as the spawn proximity so much more in their favor. You can see Thiel coming back out in 3 seconds. He'll be right here ready to hop back into the fight. Shipa narrowly escapes with his life. A big burst heal comes through from Ying. Laizy hooked in and killed.
That is big time. Shipa staying alive there could mean the difference in this push going through. They got to keep the momentum up, and they need to find a pick. As they're moving forward, it's not easy to just go and take all this poke damage, but as Fernando's shield pops, this is the chance they need, and Shipa's trying to take it.
Pushing him back, has the Heat Haze available as well. No withdrawal, so no more cooldowns. Northernberg has to play this very carefully now. Needs to wait for his health to be pulled back up. He has the Impaler arrow, but doesn't have the planet. PERDO's got a good angle on him, and Shipa's moving in.
There's the withdrawal, going to be stealth for just a moment. The Desert Wind trying to hide amongst all this damage coming out from Buck, and this big beefy man going to jump back on him and say, hello, my friend, and he will be finished off. The two will go down in sweet poetry, and it will likely result in Carbon 6 getting the better end of that trade.
Huge trade. Ultimates coming out from eLvenpath on the Ancient Rage, looking for it on the point. Laizy dives into the background, takes out PERDO. So much of that damage now gone. Can't miss these shots at close range. Bonkar credited with that kill. 47 seconds. Laizy moving out, getting very aggressive. Does find gerrah.
Really nice bouncing back and forth with Laizy in that 1v1, but Shipa's going to jump on him one more time, and Laizy will have to be out for 9 whole seconds now. It's a 5v4 for that period of time. D69 have to make it count. A grenade comes through for PERDO. Bugzy looking to get rid of the clones and just destroy the shield. He's got another Dragon Punch, Nick, and he may just need to use it.
25 seconds here. eLvenpath looking for a hook. Bonkar trying to hold down this corner. Laizy snagged out of the air. Can he be taken out? Immortal pop, but Laizy goes down.
Fire spit able to be popped one more time. Could get over the shield. Is he going to need it, though? Northernberg, he's going to stay alive. One withdrawal is going to take him down the hill, but he will fall thanks to PERDO. D69 now with overtime ticking have dropped one member of Carbon 6, and will it be another?
Bonkar still sitting in the back line here, trying to hold down Thiel and him, the only ones left alive. The Wrecker 2s are shredding these tank shields, and the health pools will start to fall soon after overtime for D69.
We've seen Barrage be a huge game changer for PERDO the way he's used it. Laizy now trying to change the game by getting some kills, but will he be the one taken down? He's hunting down Victor, but he can't find it yet. Grumpy Bomb comes in, and that's going to make for a happy Bomb King. He's going to look to hunt bugzy, and he will find the ultimate prize, and they will defend.
Boinks him on the head there just for good measure. Shuts down the streak. Has his ultimate available to him. Almost four ultimates for Carbon 6, whereas District 69 are sitting on 4 guaranteed. eLvenpath a little bit off the mark. Resilience is starting to come through. We saw the impact that had earlier on in the set when eLvenpath on the Makoa able to get out of the crowd control. The stuns from Bomb King just a little bit sooner means everything to him, and as a result, we're seeing 5 resiliences come through. District 69 is sold on the item.
No, it's eLvenpath's doing right here. We talked to him. He said if he would have had resilience in a couple other games he'd been watching, they would have won. That fight would have gone differently. He's not taking the chance. Grumpy Bomb, King Bomb, we're not going to worry about it too much. You have to beat us straight up. And if you can't do that, Laizy, we're going to put you at a serious disadvantage. And they've got the damage to do so. 2,700 health, 200 from the card. It's going to make sure that Bomb King doesn't go down quickly, though.
Here comes the Dragon Punch, looking for a bugzy. Needs to find something, looking for something. Anything will find bonkar. Taking him down. Laizy's got a good angle. 1 rocket, 2 rocket, 3 rocket. Double kill for bugzy.
And that's the bugzy we need to see here at LAN for D69. He's largely been hiding here in the finals, although he's done so much to get his team here. He needs to get these double, these triple kills like we've been used to seeing him on Drogo's, his main, his favorite, though he's a flex. Get out of here with that ideology. He's the best Drogo's in Europe so far as we've seen, and he continues to impress here. 63% for D69.
Long range zone going to be available to come out. PERDO on this hit scan. Victor can dismount all of these champions from Carbon 6 from a very long distance, forcing them to walk. Laizy has to poppy bomb himself to get back on the point. There's the counter barrage. The King Bomb coming through. Laizy narrowly escapes with his life.
Gets him to half health though, and that means Shipa can clean him up. PERDO leaves a little bit of a gift for Buck, and he's able to take full advantage of it. 108 health by Thiel, but he's getting healed up by Bird, and that's huge for Maldamba, the support player on Carbon 6, coming in big.
PERDO trying to put the pressure on Bird. D69 gonna secure this fight as Shipa cleans up Northernberg. Bonkar did fall to eLvenpath as well. Shipa trying to keep this momentum high for the district, but Bird not afraid to bounce out with him in the gourd, however, gonna lose his life.
Bird's such an excellent player. I mean, the fact that Maldamba even came close to threatening Shipa's life there was impressive, and you can see he's such a key part of keeping this team under wraps. They're now down 2-1 yet again. 2 minutes, 10 seconds on the push.
Big ultimates here for District 69. Nothing available for Carbon 6. We're looking at the Buckwild, the Ancient Rage, as well as the Dragon Punch here. So a lot of potential burst damage and swing factors coming through on District 69.
And if you're going to swing, Buck's going to help you swing more. He might spot out Laizy, just force him away, turn the eyes away from the 1275 Fusillade rocket that bugzy's firing at him. He fell, so he's not on a kill streak, but he's looking to get one started. The Immortal might have to come out, but no, it can. He's going to get taken down before anything can be responded to. Bugzy gets 2 there with the fire spin, and now PERDO's able to clean things up. This could be a 3-1 for D69.
Surging forward, the payload, mere inches from conversion. Laizy hits his head with the poppy bomb, just getting onto the payload, trying to do something, anything. No one from Carbon 6 able to respond. D69 go up 3-1.
These players are so damn good at this game. The aim is something that is just not a game. It's serious stuff. And PERDO, especially when you're not paying attention to him and you're worried about Bugsy's Drogo, Shipa's Buck, he's just going to be able to aim down sights.
3-1 here, District 69. This is a big win for them because they will get first pick if they can close this game out. Carbon 6, the first team to lose with a Bomb King selection, could prove very difficult for them to bring the series back. Cauterize 3 now online for Laizy to rejuvenate. The deft hands coming through for Bird, as well as a master riding for Bonkar on their last legs. Can Carbon 6 find the payload in this round?
So much of that came down to PERDO's barrage, leaving a little bit of a remnant for Shipa to pick up the pieces on and put all back together. A couple of metaphors there combined to make sure that these two players keep combining in the way they've been effective. And now Laizy's going to make sure that one of the dynamic duo is down, and that is going to be PERDO. Laizy looking to find more. It's largely up to him, but bugzy shuts him down.
Immortal going to keep everyone from Carbon 6 alive for the next 4 seconds. Isn't going to be enough time. Trading out 1 for 1. Northernberg on the Shaolin does find Shipa. Bird needs to be careful here. Can't afford to get pushed. Can't afford to give up his life. 21% on the point for D69.
Bird's not missing any of these mending spirits. He immunes the Fusillade Drogo's rocket, gets the healing gourd on himself. The fact that he's alive is just masterclass play, but he's not going to be the answer if they lose Thiel. They've got to keep him healthy. 19% now for Carbon 6. They fight finally retaken the advantage on the point.
Laizy with a bad angle here, narrowly escapes with his life. He needed to come out on top there. Actually does pick up Shipa on his way out. eLvenpath does find Thiel, shutting down one of the frontliners from Carbon 6.
bugzy still alive and hasn't missed a dragon punch yet, it seems. And PERDO, whenever you take your eyes off him, he's ready to fire on. But look at that, Shaolin trying to do the work, but he can't. Carbon 6 gonna miss out on that kill, and bugzy, he won't miss out on the other. eLvenpath gonna slide away, and that means the tank will stay alive for them.
Still sitting on the dragon punch, winding it up. Immortal check. Thiel just laughing because he knows there's nothing he can do. D69 looking like they're ready to take game number 3.
You need the Bomb King. We don't need the Bomb King. We're going to take Drogos. We're going to put him on our star player here, and we are going to beat you even if you have first pick. This is something that not even Kanga, how good that they played, were able to do against Carbon 6 and ultimately fell in the series. But now D69 upset the Giants and the King.
Is bugzy the X factor in this land? Drogos being the closest character that can contend with Bomb King in terms of burst damage. If bugzy can be the closest one to the King, shutting down the King, getting the victory over the King, they can find themselves in the throne.
That's right, just crowning themselves champions here by winning these difficult games where they don't even have the advantage to start, or at least shouldn't, in comparison to all of the other teams here. That's why people were saying D69, they've got their captain back, they've got their full roster, which is every single player you look at here, deadly and a master in his own right.
2 frontliners there for Carbon 6 not working out. Not having any hit scan to deal with bugzy may not have been the wisest decision. He had 86,000 damage, top damage in the game, and that's what happens when you let the dog off the leash, or in this case, the dragon.
I mean, you know what? I'd say that Laizy had a decent game as Bomb King. He kind of did what he needed to do, but it just wasn't enough. Northernberg 10-9 there, not able to really put up those big Shaolin numbers like we've seen Shipa do. And Shipa largely with the 20-8, just being involved, not dying too much, I think was key for him, and still putting up 42K. I think this is a great combo here to just distract and allow bugzy and PERDO to really go off.
Yeah, keeping the cap on the enemy Shaolin has been another big factor. We talked a lot about, you know, all eyes are on the Bomb King, but meanwhile, Shaolin players have just kind of had free reign in this tournament. So being able to whip out the buck, and not just one, but 2 players, and now I feel as though PERDO almost filled the role of the unbothered Shaolin, this time on the Victor, pulling 76,000 damage. Just kind of had free reign in the backline when Laizy wasn't on his case.
It was such a good Victor pick. I mean, you know, sometimes you see Victor come in and he's kind of meh and not the real impact that you would expect. Jules from Kanga just made it an absolute nightmare for anyone playing against him. And now PERDO doing the same thing, but largely, you know, I've harped on this again. I think it's just the draft. I think they just had a great draft, bringing in Buck when Carbon 6 were not used to seeing it.
Only 6 deaths for him as well, so maintaining relative safety. The Fernando pick for Thiel, a little bit of a stretch that game. The Immortal obviously pretty good against the Dragon Punch, but a difficult ultimate that gets charged. 2 eliminations there across that whole game, only 10 deaths on top of it, unable to break 20k damage. Pretty difficult game for Thiel.
He was just bullied, essentially, out on the point. He had so much to be able to counter him. PERDO, you know, and bugzy together wailing on those shields. I mean, that's just too much DPS for Fernando to stand, and largely we've seen him not be the most effective tank by himself, and it just didn't work to combo out with what Carbon 6 were hoping for, Nick. But going into this, it's looking to be the game that they need to now show they can upset Bomb King. And Thiel hitting the B at BM. I don't know. Does that mean they've started to tilt? Have they started to shift in their mentality here?
Not necessarily. He just knows he had no answer for it. He saw the Dragon Punch coming. He was the last one on the point. No Immortal available. He kind of knew the outcome of the game at that point. All the chips were on the table, and he had nothing to call D69. Gerrah, the support player there, having a really strong game. Always either on Maldamba or on Ying. He knows what he needs to be doing.
Well, you know, it's cool to see it. We could see that Ying was prioritized on Serpent Beach for Carbon 6, so they largely, I remember having a conversation with Bird, and he was saying certain healers on certain maps, Maldamba, Ying, they're basically both as good as each other, but certain maps, I like different ones. Ying, he seems to like on Fish Market, and probably would have liked it, but he wasn't able to pick it up. D69 steal that away, and her healing, her team ends up winning. So that could be another storyline that we haven't really paid attention to. And bonkar, he's just trying to keep things rolling. He doesn't want to lose.
Almost kind of high drop body syndrome here with bonkar on his. I don't like seeing him on tanks as much because I just know what he's capable of.
He can't play the Shaolin.
Yeah,
that's what Northernberg's got to play.
Northernberg has either been on Shaolin or on Drogoz bonkar, more often not forced into that off-tank role, whether it be the Ruckus, whether it be the Barrack. He's had to step up and kind of do that for his team. eLvenpath not afraid to step up and be that frontliner, not afraid to frag out on those characters either.
And you know, it's important to note if you're watching, which I'm sure you are if you're hearing my voice, it's the fact that D69 were actually 2-0 up against formerly Burrito at that point, but now Carbon 6 at the Paladins Invitational in January. That set got brought all the way back, went to 7. So just because D69 take the lead here does not mean that this is over by a large shot.
So taking a look at the maps here, D69 now with the lead going into Frog Isle. Can Carbon 6 look to bring it back? Frog Isle, we say it every time, momentum, momentum, momentum is the name of the game on this map. Whoever kind of takes that first point and finds conversion oftentimes will win 4-0. Carbon 6 very good at doing that, but so is District 69. Carbon 6, having lost that game, will have first pick.
And they will take Bomb King, and this is very, very important here. They didn't win against Bomb King, and D69, they're very, very happy to go ahead and take the Makoa yet again. And you have to talk how important it is to get Thiel off of his best tank on his best map with this tank.
Absolutely. Shaolin selection for Carbon 6. Do they go for the Barrack here? Going to be the likely choice. They still need their frontliner, still need the healer, still need a hit scan answer for the Drogoz. I feel it would be a mistake to let bugzy go uncontested in the skies once again.
I think Damba will be the prioritized healer here for D69. And I think now they're going to look to maybe pick up the buck yet again. But Ying hovered over. This could be it, and Ying will be taken. So maybe it's just that Gerrah's feeling it. Hey, let's keep it moving. We've been doing well with Ying. I like the way she's been playing with this lineup. It's not going to change, so why change your healer?
One thing you can do well with Ying that you can't really do with Maldamba is keep a clone in the backline, keep one of those safety slots locked in for your dimensional link, and just stay safe, just stay alive. Maldamba, all he's got is his slither, which is just going to buy him mere seconds against the king, whereas Ying, we saw in the last game, Laizy tried to pick off gerrah in the backline. Gerrah links away, and bugzy just had free reign to clean him up, but this time around, Carbon 6 will have a strong hit scan answer to be able to shoot the dragon out of the sky.
That is important. You've got to be able to deal with Drogoz. If you're not going to pick Andro, Lex seems to be the next best bet, the newest flank and champion in the realm before, of course, this upcoming Friday. You got to stay tuned for the patch notes. Last pick here, going to be Grok. I would not like this, but actually on this map, it's a lot better than Frozen Guard, to be honest.
This way, Ying can, probably played by gerrah, can just sit on the point. And Grok, there will be some type of heals out in the field for not only Buck, but for Makoa as well. As we know, eLvenpath likes to get hyper aggressive. Going to be interesting to see the matchup here between Lex and Buck in the backline. Lex, a character that does extremely well against characters with big health pools that like to try and stay above that 65% health threshold. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Recurve for Northernberg's Shaolin, Architectonics for Thiel's Barrack, Death Hastens for Bonkar's Lex, Ripened Gourd for Bird's Maldamba, and Accelerant for Laizy's Bomb King.
And it will be Bugzy with Fusilade Drogoz, Shipa with Maelstrom, Grok, Bounce House Buck for PERDO. Gerrah's running Focusing Lens, extra bonus damage on the left mouse button, and eLvenpath, half shell for his team, starting out with Kronos and starting out the point fight.
Exact same item splits here for both teams, just slightly variance on the champions of the rolls. A lot of damage on the eLvenpath right out of the gate. Only 9% captured for D69 down into Planet. Not going to find a whole lot of value out of that one. Big cooldown whiff as well. Dredge Anchor finds nothing but air.
And the Shell Shield going to keep him alive. And the fact that eLvenpath didn't die here means a lot of good things for him. Laizy's going to throw a Grumpy Bomb down. Bugzy largely in the corner. These two blasters not fighting each other quite yet. Shipa could be the first to fall. And in fact, it will be PERDO who takes down the Heat.
Looked like he actually just fell off into the ocean there. Gonna come out big Planet damage. Bugzy pinned in a corner, pinned in a rough spot. Shipa falls as well.
30% now for D69, though, despite losing a few members here, more so than Carbon 6, but they're now just finding a way to retake. Laizy on a 4 streak. Bugzy could go down. The fire spits here. Will it find him? Bonkar's going to slay Bugzy. PERDO will take down the Bomb King, though.
Escaping with his life. District 69, 36% on the point. Carbon 6 in control of it, though. 51 and climbing. A lot of damage coming out from Bonkar on this Lex. First first to his ultimate by a mile, over 40% in the lead.
That's huge there, but will the law be able to serve justice today? That's what's going to happen. And look, Laizy coming in to help his buddy set up and keep things civil here in the realm. 93% now for Carbon6. The law comes through. Shield popped up, but bonkar will take two. eLvenpath and gerrah get it. Laizy and Thiel pick up two of their own, but PERDO here grabbing a double, grabbing a triple. Did he just save this?
PERDO saving it
for
D69. 99 shut down by the big man himself, the big bald man. No wonder Vox wanted to shave his head.
Are you actually kidding me? PERDO triple killed that and saved it for D69, and if they get this capture, they have only one man to thank. King Bomb coming through. Laizy's gonna find one, but will PERDO take him down yet again? A nice hook by eLvenpath, he will. 99%, the overtime's ticking, but there are just too many members of Carbon6 here to really contest.
bonkar again, lights out on Lex. They ask for the prayer once and they get it, but they cannot hit the lottery twice. PERDO falls short, unfortunately. Three members of Carbon6 there to keep the dream alive. Frankly, that would have been awful for morale and momentum. Like we mentioned, big factor on Frog Isle. So Carbon6 come away with a huge capture.
D69 now facing their first point that they've been behind in quite a while. PERDO there getting all of Lex's right mouse button there in pursuit of his targets, and now bonkar, he's going to finish one off and sentence them to back to base.
Buckwild is available here. PERDO very careful about when he pops this ultimate. bonkar finding the first kill in this engagement. Recovery popped, but no real health actually gained from this. Going to be careful. That's a big part of why PERDO can get so aggressive on this buck.
And I do like the way that gerrah's playing very safe, leaves that clone. Now going to go aggressive with focusing lens. If things get troublesome, he's going to be able to get out for free here, and he's got the clones ready to just heal up when need be. But bonkar, he's got a sight set on a few. Damn, he is hitting these shots and not missing. Lex just putting out so much damage here.
Nice score. Nice shots from bonkar. Snaps onto Bugzy, and Laizy now could have the opportunity to go big in this backline. Everyone's low. He's got a good angle on it. Shock Pulse going to connect, though.
No healing totem right now for Grok, so PERDO's going to have to do the heavy lifting before Shipa can get back into this fight and start to make an impact with those shock pulses. But largely, eLvenpath and D69 have dissuaded this first push, but will they continue to do it?
A minute remains for Carbon6 to try and get this one converted up into the air. Coming back down. King Bomb looking for it. eLvenpath tries to pull bonkar off the map, but can't quite get it, and deleted by the Bomb King burst.
Unfortunate there, but Laizy doing everything that he needs to do for his team, and now he might just slay PERDO, but got a little scared. Maybe didn't know the health pool. He had an opportunity to kill him there.
I definitely agree with you there, Bugzy. It's Laizy showing a little bit of signs of maybe being scared of PERDO. Rockets coming through from Bugzy. Great angle, going to connect on the bird, taking him down.
That might have just been the moment they needed to really kind of move forward, get D69 staggered, and be ready to compete here for a very strong push. But largely, without any Kinessa long range, they're relying on the Shaolin to poke and pressure. Lex can do a bit with Death Hastens, but probably not enough to really impact those huge health pools on D69.
Thiel trying to get his way back up. Laizy, very aggressive. Grumpy Bomb's going to come out to zone. A lot of pressure. Shipa separated from his team. No one from Carbon6 is on the point. They got to get on there if they want to start this overtime, and they do.
I love the way PERDO's jumping in and jumping out. Needs the heals now, but he's going to jump. Bounce House Buck getting the extra damage onto the leap, and it will be bonkar to finally take down this man.
A rare miss on the fire spit as well. bonkar gets another one, thrust back up on the high ground. Bugzy trying to get to safety here. One more shot, and bonkar finds it again. The substitute from HRX going big in that tournament on Frog Isle, going big here as well.
Is it deja vu? bonkar made a huge play there to change things up. Gets Bugzy out of the fight. Now Northernberg and Thiel want to have some fun, and it's their turn to make a big impact. eLvenpath in trouble. The Dread Serpent's here. They took Ying, and they lost out on that huge crowd control, and it means they lose out on a defense 2-0. Carbon6.
Impact play there. Able to get the conversion despite a big ultimate used from both sides. It's going to be worth it for Carbon6 to have popped that Dread Serpent. Laizy's almost ready to go on the King Bomb again. District 69 are sitting on all of their ultimates, as well as having a couple of resiliences, but Carbon6 going to be ahead on the net worth chart, not by much. That round took long enough to where District 69 got enough kills, got enough just credits over time naturally to get their cauterizes and their records to the level 2 mark.
And that's 100% value. If you're able to use that Dread Serpent to get an extra point, so hard to get that, and now you put yourself in such a good spot. You're 2-0. If you defend this, even if you lose the capture point, you go up 3-1, and you're able to win next round.
Moving out here, game number 4 between Carbon6 and D69. in the grand finals. Looking for that first blood. It's elusive. Salvo not going to connect on anyone there. eLvenpath lands the hook onto Bird. Dragon Punch at the ready. Carbon 6 relatively spread out.
But this means the left-hand side's not going to get as much healing as they would have liked, and Shipa has a little bit more free reign, but he's getting pressured out. Has the Ghost Walk, going to use it now. Looking to find one. Bugzy will, but he dies as a result. Bird slays the dragon, and Maldama keeps his teammates alive still. Bonkar going in on a rampage, hitting 2, taking down PERDO and eLvenpath.
Northernberg narrowly staying alive as well in the heat haze. Had to use that ultimate Bonkar, and Shipa trading out, trying to get the kill. Shipa, long Ghost Walk duration here, able to get himself out to safety. 54% captured for Carbon 6. D69, all 5 members looking for the takeback.
Bird, Bonkar, and a Northernberg on 8 streaks apiece. Either one of them.
Big.
Talk about Shaolin's going to mean a lot of cash and a lot of ultimate charge for the boys of D69. Just getting rid of the turrets of Barrack, and now going to find Bird. Bird will fall thanks to Buck running his Buck Wild ultimate, and now Bonkar's forced to retreat, although still on a 10 streak. Bugzy hasn't started to look for him yet, but they've got the point control.
Laizy didn't get a single kill in that fight. Bonkar's in a really bad spot. Northernberg's here to defend him, but PERDO, he's faced bigger odds than this before. 87% on Carbon 6 before they lost that fight. They've got to get back on this point, and fast.
Northernberg here, 1 impale, but doesn't go into the wall, so can't follow up. Planet not up for 3 more seconds. And can they hold that long? No, they can't. D69 will capture this next objective, and they will find themselves able to tie it up. But Carbon 6 here still looking strong if they defend.
Strong use of all their ultimates as well. Bugzy with the huge pickup onto Northernberg. Probably the thing that won that last fight for District 69. Another big kill onto Bird to keep this momentum high, and Carbon 6 completely lose control of the game, and D69 need to look for this conversion here because only 2 points up. Carbon 6 can still benefit from the defense point, going up 3-1.
That salvo, that fire spit. The thing about this map, the reason snowballs can happen is because when you get the advantage, it's so easy to zone and stay safe from view from the enemies who are trying to come out of their base. Hard to hit Bugzy when he just peeks his head out, throws a fire spit, and then nucks behind this rock right here. You got to commit, and if that commit goes wrong, you could be in trouble.
Grumpy Bomb coming out, King Bomb at the ready. D69 sitting on just a Tempest. Carbon 6 have 3 ultimates to spare, almost 4. Laizy very, very poked out. The law has been dropped. No kills found. Northernberg picking up the slack, does get 2.
60% slow though, and 600 damage. Bonkar's going to find himself a couple assists probably on that kill, and Northernberg, the sub, still playing big, up to the level of competition, not being a just more of a liability here in this match.
1 minute and 12 remain here. D69 forced all the way back. Carbon 6 looking for some good defensive positioning here. Needs to be careful though. No one should get picked here. This is exactly where things went wrong in the point fight for Carbon 6, eating one of these rockets. 2 of these rockets. There's Northernberg again. You cannot peek this man, Northern.
Is this going to be a rocket that changes the game, that changes the setting? A salvo is primed and ready. Bugzy maybe going to salvo into a fire spit, just throw the bomb away, force them to one side and try and aim at the other. It's just a little bit of head games there coming out from D69.
Big damage coming on to Shipa on the backline. Does manage to take out Bonkar. Nice couple bombs coming over the top here, but still Carbon 6 unable to find a kill.
Nice hook there. Will he fall? Yes, he will. eLvenpath will slay Laizy, and though eLvenpath goes down, they don't have the Bomb King stuns. That could be a huge deal. It depends how good PERDO can be on this Buck and how much Shipa can help zone with these shock pulses. So far, so good. PERDO picks up another one. Bonkar takes gerrah, though, and now they're only relying on the Grok healing.
Thiel goes down. PERDO has to go big. Finds the healer for Carbon 6, but immediately picked up in response. Bugzy does find Bonkar on the left side here. 6 seconds remain. D69, just Northernberg here to defend. Laizy over in the corner is spotted out.
He's going to run to the backside, but who's going to help the front side? It's Thiel, and that fortified dome shield here is going to make a big difference, but not to the dredge anchor. eLvenpath going to run away, but he's going to run away a little too late. He will find a kill there on the Laizy. PERDO still alive. Can he get Northernberg? He can get a double kill. This might turn into a triple. He's got to find Bird, though. What's he doing?
Shipa narrowly staying alive on the Grok. Could come back to later have an impact on this fight, but Bonkar continues to make a name for himself on Frog Isle. One of the few players in this tournament that is able to consistently land the law, and not only land it, but slaughter an ancient raging Makoa.
I think this was just largely, PERDO having to take the team on his back one more time, but he had an opportunity. I think he shot one time to the right, trying to find the target close to the payload, but Bird was really low and might have been able to get killed there. Who knows if the healing went away? What would happen?
So still sitting on his ultimate. Bugzy refusing to use the Dragon Punch there. They have 3 at their disposal. Carbon 6 sitting on Heat Haze as well as a King Bomb. 2 big question marks. Northernberg Either goes very big or not at all with the heat haze, and a big resilience pickups once again from District 69. Going to do a lot for them. Shaolin Impale Arrow stuns, Dread Serpent, Maldamba Snake reload stuns, both stuns from Bomb King, all negated out. High value pickups.
I like this tree here from Lex. Don't want to stay too far back. You can get a little bit more damage on your poke. If you stay closer at PERDO, takes down Laizy. Buck seeming to be the answer to Bomb King right now. Bird picks up bugzy though, and that's going to mean a lot for Carbon 6.
1 for 1, 1 for 1. 62%, however, D69 fighting while controlling the point the whole time. Thiel hooked into a bad spot. Dread Serpent could come out here, and it will. It's going to land on a 2, but Resilience largely negates a lot of that crowd control.
Missed the first Mending Spirits, but won't miss the second. Thiel's going to fall, though, and largely negated damage from the salvo thanks to Bird using a great slither at the right time, but he can't avoid all that damage. eLvenpath, Shipa, and gerrah still alive. D69 capture this objective.
D69 is so good at winning the team fight while fighting on the point, so they only need to win one, and they're already coming away with the payload, as well as the Resilience is having such a big impact. So much crowd control on Carbon 6, that's just a non-factor now.
Such good stuff there from eLvenpath, and Shipa there to back him up as well, but look at that, Shipa's gonna fall. Great damage there by Laizy. Bonkar now playing pretty good this game, applying that hit scan that we haven't seen to the Drogos and putting bugzy under a lot of pressure.
Looking for the law as well, 91% on that eLvenpath, getting healed up by the Scene Clone. Big peak, big damage coming out from bugzy around this final corner as District 69 have the chance here with the conversion, could tie the game up 3-3.
The thing about Lex is that if he gets the win condition with that law coming through and no shield up, he could get a pentakill in these types of situations, but it hasn't happened. It doesn't happen often. In fact, we've never seen it happen in this competitive Paladin scene, but the day could be here now. And look at that, Bonkar. He finds 3, doesn't need the ultimate there. He's gonna do it with his magnums.
Continuing to surge forward here. Still so much time for District 69 to look for conversion, however, so they're not worried just yet. Does see the flank coming out. Shipa all by his lonesome here. Needs to be careful. Poked out, one shot. Laizy looking for a long distance pick.
Oh yeah, can't find it quite yet. And then Pursuit's gonna heal up with Fortitude 4, giving him some extra healing when he right clicks. And that will mean that he's able to stay in this fight for a little bit longer. Thiel though now under pressure. Not sure if he's gonna survive. In fact, he won't. gerrah gets the first kill of the fight, and bugzy goes in the ult.
Trying to kickstart this push, tying up the game, looking for it. Bird does go down. Bonkar, though, answering every single kill that District 69 is putting on the board, but he's so low. Forced back into spawn. Thiel just now respawning, is not going to have the time to get here. It's got to be Bonkar. He's got to go big. He's got to stall. Is it going to be there? Thiel now comes back. Big Tempest coming out from Grok.
Great stuff to keep PERDO alive, and they just left it on to him. You're going to have to do it, big guy. Shipa goes ahead and gives his life up. eLvenpath with the half shell. Still, PERDO is alive. bugzy comes through. 1 shot, 2 shots, 3. Will it find the kill? It doesn't need to. They find the push. 3-3. D69 and Carbon tied up.
D69 doing such a good job. PERDO especially getting in, getting out with his life, and that is what is able to have them win these extended engagements. They keep coming back into the fight, continuing to impact it, be a factor. Look at all the Resilience 3s.
I love it.
On the side of District 69. Your day has come. Resilience having such a big impact for this Carbon 6 lineup, especially looking at Shaolin with the Impale stun, looking at Bird with the reload stun, the Dread Serpent that had just 0 impact. Not that it was badly placed, but just the counter itemization pickups from District 69 are so clean.
That Dread Serpent's going to last for half a second, then they're going to go right back in, able to fight. It is just unreal how much value this item can have, and it's only 200 credits at each rank. They're going to get all level 3s of it on the side of D69. They think that's their win condition, and so far it has been huge. Fusillade shots from afar. Is bugzy going to find it? Doesn't hit the actual fire spit, and that saves Laizy's life.
Looking for the kill onto bugzy as well in the backline. One more bomb's gonna do it. Laizy finds it in a big way. Bonkar continuing to find big shots. Makoa here falling lower and lower. 89% on the law. gerrah eating a lot of damage here, is under the execute threshold. If he looks to pop it, Resilience, boys. It's here.
What?
It's here to stay.
Oh my god, gerrah survives. Bonkar goes down. Dimensional leaks right when the right mouse button seems to have sealed the deal. Now eLvenpath here killing Thiel. This is a unbelievable turn of events, and now PERDO here chasing down Bird. It's do or die, and D69 right now are looking to live.
Laizy on the Bomb King, looking to make the big name for himself. Has the King Bomb available. The Resilience is going to be so impactful here. They're going to need to find kills with it, not look for the stuns.
eLvenpath wants a hook. He might wait
He's
for the
winding
poppy.
it up.
Is he going to get him? No. CC immune, so he's not going to get pulled. eLvenpath, he's actually going to be able to slay gerrah, but Shipa kills Laizy, and eLvenpath's ready to fight again.
Another big Dragon Punch coming out from Laizy. Fire Spit over the top, connects under 2. Double kill for Laizy. Looking for their 3rd win of the set. District 69, clean house over Carbon 6.
And I gotta say, betting on Bomb King or betting on bugzy's Drogos, it's starting to look like those who paid a little bit more attention could tell that this man was at a caliber, at a ranking, at a level in his own with this champion. He ends up getting the double kill, but largely a team effort there for D69. Just a great point fight, and gerrah getting away from Lex's in pursuit was just nuts in my opinion.
Now 2 consecutive losses despite having the first pick, despite picking up the Bomb King. Carbon 6 backs against the wall, their title on the line. The reigning champions from the HRX Invitational now have a very, very strong chance of falling to their rivals in Europe.
Thiel gave an honest look at the camera, looked right away. To me, that says something. It says these guys know that, you know, not performing at the highest level, not exactly hyped about the situations with which they went into this land for sure, knowing that they were maybe at a bit of a disadvantage in terms of having their ideal roster here. Northernberg's done a great job for them. 111,000 damage. Bonkar playing out of his mind. 151 freaking damage, 1,000 damage, and 50 eliminations.
50.
Unreal.
And 11. Nuts performance from Bonkar on the Lex. I don't think that's really the issue that they're having. It's frankly the resiliences, I think, just started to swing those fights so heavily. There were so many just game-changing team fight insta-win ultimates that just had no impact. The Dread Serpents especially, they were so well placed. The King Bombs also were so well placed at the end there, but they just the stun just didn't have the impact. The damage just wasn't enough.
I mean, that's what I, you know, not to, you know, belabor the point, but I think when you look at how to counter a champion like Bomb King, you see that what are his real main strengths? What's his win condition for his team? Largely, you look at not just his burst damage, but you look at the fact that that Grumpy Bomb, that King Bomb, that sets up so many, you know, incredible events for a squad to follow up on. And if you negate that, well, you take a lot of the strengths of the character away.
It's a hard thing to account for going into your draft because these are the strongest picks in the meta right now. It's not like Carbon 6 had a bad draft, but no. I just don't think it was something that was on their mind like, wow, guys, our comp is really susceptible to resilience.
I mean, what do you do right now? I mean, that's the thing. Maybe what they say is knowing they're going to get resilience, they leave the game.
Look at the damage numbers. Lex, the only one that's not relying on the crowd control to find his kills, and he comes away with the most damage.
No, I know, but that just clicked right now. Why did they take the Ying over the Maldamba? Why when that was available? Gerrah's been playing lights out. It's not because of the map. I really think it is because knowing they're going to get full resilience, they're going to say, we'll give him the worst ult against resilience. Ying's ult doesn't get countered by resilience, but Damba's does, and that's going to make Bird a lot less effective at changing the tide of this game.
Bonkar here on the Lex, having the lights out. I mean, Frog Isle's just his map, and despite the 2-0 conversion, we talked a lot about heavy momentum swings on this map, and District 69 just basically getting the reverse sweep. But these teams are so close. It was not the case on Frog Isle. That was a battle tooth and nail to the end, and Bonkar just got a lot done, but it wasn't enough.
And, you know, staring elimination in the face has never been a scary task for Carbon 6 or Burrito when they've played at the Paladins LAN against these guys. Again, they weren't playing against bugzy and the entire roster, but they played against 4 and a great player and Unbelievable, and that's nearly just as good, but maybe not what they needed to really change the dynamic here. This man, we've been talking about him all day long, and, man, has he started to warm up. And speaking of warm, he's just getting so hot. Those plays working well for Drogos.
It's been the X factor.
Hot tea as well.
We said whoever can figure out how to beat the Bomb King the fastest is going to come away with this tournament. Drogos, the kind of second in line in terms of burst damage, the only character tanky enough, high damage enough to outrace the King to the kill, and the best in the world at the character seems to be pulling ahead. 2 wins straight over the first pick Bomb King for Carbon 6. Do they switch it up? Do they go to the Makoa?
And he's having fun here too, Nick. I mean, I think they switch it up. Honestly, I think if I'm Carbon 6, give it up. You're not winning with it. It hasn't worked 2 maps in a row, both a map you're really good at and a map that you don't know as well, considering you don't usually play it. And Kanga's kind of been forcing their hand on it. But I honestly think that bugzy, there's something about that smile. There's something about the comfortability. You know, Thiel, Laizy, these guys have done it forever. Bird here as well. But there's something to be said about being surrounded by good people, by people that support you. He's here seeing his girlfriend around. He's got a lot of support. These guys are finally together. I feel like it's all coming together to really be their moment right now.
Not caving under the pressure as well. We've been talking about him nonstop ever since he didn't make the trip to HRX. How will this impact his future career in Paladins? And he has put his foot down with authority and says it's only going to make me stronger, only make me want to win more.
I mean, it's also like a story of the comeback kid, right? A guy who's almost out and down, wondering, is he going to keep playing? Will he quit? It was a dejected type of time period for bugzy, just not being able to affect his team and their outcome in the biggest tournament Paladins has ever had. But finally, when he gets a second chance, D69 are really ready to take advantage of it. They're 1 win away from being the champions here at the Masters LAN.
Shipa playing the Grok in the previous game. Also another big factor, able to step up when his team needs it most, primarily on the Shaolin. The Grok, his impact, it's not as readily apparent, but the crowd control provided by consistent shock pulse, nothing to be snuffed at, and as well as well-timed tempests to keep his team alive. Bird, the captain for Carbon 6, gonna have to figure out, gonna have to pull some strings, dive deep into the pocket picks, the pocket strats, if you want to swing this series back in his team's favor.
This is the big decision he's got to make the call on. Do you first pick Bomb King or not? You know, largely a lot of the viewers have said, oh, this is great. You know, Bomb King comes in and whoever gets him, easy win. But clearly, that is not the case. He just takes a high caliber counter, played at the highest level to do it. And now Bird, knowing that they've got that in D69, are they going to keep giving it to him, especially when Northernberg plays a great Drogos himself?
Do they have hard enough heads? You know, you and I try to tell them, right? Like, it's not the be all end all. The meta always shifts. Guys, you got to realize, you know, the time in the sun, it's limited. It doesn't last forever. You guys got to be the ones to figure out how to beat it first. Every time Bomb King would lose a match, you know, they would kind of scoff at us, be like, you know, it's more of the team thing. That this team's just better. But here it is, the best 2 teams in the world. 2 games dropped straight with the Bomb King.
And I think also, you know, not to put anything down on Laizy, because he is one of the best players in the world. There's no doubt about that. I think it's also just looking at Diggs, Bomb King may have won these games. Laizy, you know, he's played a lot of different champions in his history, but it hasn't been Bomb King. He's largely had to learn this champion, and bugzy is just on his go-to, and maybe that's where some of the performances are really starting to shift.
If they are going to switch up the draft and go for the Makoa first pick, it's got to be here. But can they can't risk giving up Bomb King Drogos on Jaguar Falls. So Carbon 6, with their backs against the wall, big question marks. What will they first pick?
They take it, no doubt about it. Carbon 6, they know that it's not about the draft, it's about the plays. And again, you can win the draft, but you still have to win the game. Carbon 6 been largely winning the draft in the viewers' eyes, but not necessarily winning the games as a result of D69 playing out of this world.
Drogos so strong on this map, and such a good answer counter burst for the King. Barracks Shaolin, it looks like they're just going to continue to run it back.
You know what? I don't think that's a good pick. I think you could lose. Well, you're not gonna, but you could have lost Lex here. And I think PERDO is a fantastic Lex. They've liked the buck, so they gamble. And maybe it's going to pay off, and it will. But I think bonkar on Lex is just phenomenal.
Northernberg probably going to play that Shaolin. If they don't take it here, they give it up to Shipa, which is a scary thought as well, and have the chance still to go into the Lex, but they're going to opt for the Ruckus, and they need to get their Ying online, playing straight into the early Grok pickup. Double deployable. Ruckus may as well be a deployable turret as well. Guaranteed targets for Shipa on the Grok to hit his shock pulse bounces.
And this is where practice, this is where becoming innovators, wanting to be innovators, starts to pay dividends. This is why Astral Authority took a game off of D69, and they were able to bring out the Mega Potion Pip, which, you know what, D69, you talk about EU, NA have bad vibes, whatever it is, they were saying great freaking set, Astral. You guys played phenomenally, and that Mega Potion Pip was legit. I didn't think it would work, but it did, and they're not trusting it because they haven't practiced it. So That's why you always got to be looking to innovate at these big-time stages. It's time for maybe the last game for Burrito. It's Recurve Shaolin for Northernberg, Carbon 6, Lifelike Ying for Bird, Fortify for Barracks, for Thiel's Barrack, Flux Generator for Bonkers, Ruckus, and Accelerant for Laizy's Bomb King.
Fusilade for bugzy's Drogo, Shipa taking the Maelstrom, Gok PERDO, Death Hastens for his Lex, and will be half shell for eLvenpath's Makoa Gerrah with the Ripened Gourd on his Maldamba, Salvo primed, Letty, and loose.
Man, ready to go ahead and use the momentum from the horse and actually use the salvo to zone him out, but that's going to do more than a zone. A direct shot from Fusilade will actually take one down.
15% already. D69 taking their team fights from the point. So going to pull themselves ahead with an early advantage. Here's Laizy with the angle on Drogos. Does he continue to push his advantage? Dredge Anchor could be big here. Grumpy Bomb comes out to zone.
Just going to keep him safe there, and he's going to have to work around, but they got to make things happen. They know that one Dredge Anchor could be the end of this Bomb King, and will it be? It is! Laizy goes down yet again. gerrah, PERDO able to find 2 kills there, and what's new? PERDO doing work on this Lex. He's trying to fight off against Northernberg, the sub for Carbon 6, but he will take down both. Anyone who comes in the law's way will be brought to justice, and bugzy in the background saying, sure, I'll get into the fun as well.
District 69 smell blood in the water. They are ready for this championship. They are ready to retake the crown from Carbon 6. They are surging forward undeterred. The payload just started to go for it. And District 69 already trying to make a big hold in Carbon 6's base.
Laizy doing a good job, though, of finding 2. That's big, and this will quell this for quite a bit. And D69, you know, we saw even in the comms that they were using the fact that they were able to, you know, say, hey, we're okay. We got a lot of time. Let's pull back. We don't need to rush this and full wipe and then lose another 40 seconds off of our potential time to push.
Minute and 50 remaining here, so not a lot of, or plenty of time left in the tank here for D69. They're got a lot of ultimates as well. They got the Law charged up as well as the Dragon Punch. Both very good things to execute and take both of these double tanks off the table for Carbon 6. We'll see if they elect to pop any of them to kickstart this push.
I love Bugsy's prioritization. Just get the turret out. Don't even want to take any poke from that. I want to stay nice and healthy and be a bad target for someone to try to all in. And bugzy and Shipa and PERDO going to just move forward as the trio that they are. And PERDO taking away the Lex and proving why this maybe was a mistake in the draft to leave that on the table and not put it in Bonker's hands. They went for a tank comp, but these tanks are melting thanks to the damage on D69.
So much pressure and ultimates starting to come online for both teams. It's going to come down to who's not afraid to pop them, even though the time is right. Poke battle coming out between Laizy and PERDO. Just changing his sights to the Ruckus. Does he pop the Law? Won't even need it.
That's huge, man. Going to use Fortitude to heal up. He's going to use the right mouse button in pursuit to get the kill as well. And now PERDO is going to find one more. The Law is here. The shield is down for Thiel. He knows that. Will he use it to solo ult? Will he even need it? Probably not. Northernberg, see you later. Back to base goes all of Carbon 6.
Backs against the wall. One last round. District 69 with another capture and conversion can crown themselves the Masters LAN champion. Big item pickups coming through. District 69 going to be very far ahead in the net worth charts. You can see Bugzy, not only did he get his record to level 2, but he also got the master riding Shipa. Same can be said about him. PERDO just going straight for the record 3, wants to save everything up. Actually picks up the Resilience 2 here, so not going to be able to be crowd controlled. 4 ultimates, almost 5 for the D69 boys, and all 5 ready to go for Carbon 6, looking to make their last stand.
The energy in the building is slowly starting to mount here. D69 can feel that they are on the edge of winning this tournament and coming out on top. They're the favorites for a reason. They've got their full lineup, and Carbon 6 doesn't. We wanted to see if OCE could challenge them, but they weren't able to get here, so it's just the back-to-back games of these great 2 champion teams playing against one another to see who will find the answer today. And so far, bugzy and eLvenpath get the better end.
0 value for that Dome Shield. eLvenpath just easily cleaves through Thiel. 45% already on the payload. Laizy, you've got to make a move soon. You are playing the king. Look for PERDO. PERDO could come out of this one on top. Just going to slide away. Nice peel from gerrah, keeping his Lex safe and coming out on top of the 1v1. PERDO.
It's the Law coming for you, and you cannot run from the Law. You cannot hide from the Law, and Lex, he sees you when you're naughty or if you're nice, and he is going to make sure that you pay the ultimate price. That's a kill for Lex. That is an objective capture for D69, and it's 3-0. They might just be on the winning drive.
Moving forward now, eLvenpath trying to hook Thiel off the high ground. Half Shell is going to come out, trying to hold on for their tournament lives. Carbon 6 with the last chance backs against the wall. Northernberg does find the first kill in the engagement.
I can feel it coming in the air tonight, today, whatever time of afternoon it is. It means that D69 are this close to making themselves a champion. But it is going to take a little bit more than that. A Ghost Walk will catch them outside of a safe zone, and Laizy will punish that. Bonkar will as well. And now the turrets coming through, the Ying clone set up. It's going to give Carbon 6 an opportunity to really go forward with this. Another kill on to Northernberg. Actually, Northernberg to get on to eLvenpath. That's going to stall this push a little bit too, because now D69 don't have a tank here.
2 kills for the Shaolin player, fighting desperately for stabilization. It was the substitute player at HRX that stepped up on Shaolin. Can it be so once again? District 69, let's listen into the comms as they look for the first place finish.
Go fast, go fast.
Yeah,
I'm going window.
Go fast, you go fast.
That's all the button.
Go, it's fine.
Help me,
Yeah,
Kill gerrah. Help me, go back.
Heal at 2.
Particle.
Track it.
Okay, hold window.
The short kill down, mark it down.
Track it. You need to track it.
Bomb one is
I'm trigger.
I'm low. One kick face. I need to regen.
Focus out. Okay, I'm dead.
Careful.
Wait for me, I've got ult.
Window,
I'm dead.
window.
Okay, wait, relax. I've got ult. Okay?
Totem, do you have totem?
I'll go with Zoom.
Fight.
We have ult.
I'll go with Hello.
I'll kill. I'll
Back
go up.
coming in.
Totem.
Seconds remaining.
I'll go with
Okay,
Go fast, go
we
fast.
have all ult.
Let's go.
Back to
Particle
ult
face.
driver. Bomb king Migo, back to go. Bomb king dead, come on. Bomb king dead.
Dingle.
Yep.
Ying here.
Ult, okay, go back.
Kill medic. Try again.
I'm dead.
Oh, I could have put it, sorry.
Yeah, you.
And even move. Rock's dead.
Keep going. Overtime. Yep, good job.
Take the head, 1 HP. Big head, 1 HP. King top.
I'll go with Zoom.
Charlie. Fire. Last.
And that's the victory there. D69 get up. Kagemitsu in the back line, the sub. Ecstatic for him and his team. The Europeans who fell to second place without their captain have now reclaimed the throne and take the first seed, the winning championship game here over Carbon 6 at the Masters LAN.
Just dejected, but still sportsmanlike. Carbon 6 probably not happy with that performance. Only 1 win, dropping a lot of games with the Bomb King, the guy that was, largely regarded to be unbeatable at this tournament. District 69 do it 3 games in a row.
The favorites follow through. It's not always that the #1 seed goes through and wins it all. In fact, sometimes it seems to be the other way around, because that just means everything has to go perfectly for them. But for this LAN, it did. And honestly, this is just off the back of not just bugzy, even though we've talked about him a lot, not just PERDO, even though he stole the show in the last few games, and not just eLvenpath, Shipa, or gerrah with their consistent play. It's D69 as a unit. They are finally together, and this is the result.
65,000 damage for the captain on Drogos, beating out everyone on Carbon 6. A lot of damage from PERDO as well on the Lex. Very, very impressive performance there from everyone on D69, but we talked about a lot of it. It was whoever was going to be able to defeat Bomb King first. Drogos, we thought, was the best answer to it, and it's only fitting that we have the best Drogos player here with us to talk us through a little bit about how he got it done.
Bugzy, you call yourself a flex player, but really, come on, you're just a Drogos man. Let's be honest with everybody. Congratulations, man, on winning the finals. How does it feel?
It feels amazing. Great to be back with my team, especially on the LAN environment. Last time we were as R5, we won the LAN. This time, same thing.
So it seems like you 5 together in a LAN environment.
Unstoppable.
Yes, sir.
It's great stuff. Nick wasn't there when we first had that opportunity in DreamHack to see you guys play and upset these guys. You have a great history between you two as teams. How does it feel to have such a good competitor? I compared it to the Lakers Celtics in basketball back in the days where they just had the Larry Bird versus Magic Johnson dynamic. You guys have that same type of star power and juggernaut quality in the European scene.
Well, I'm really glad to have my teammates. We've been a team the longest from the entire Paladin scene, for those who don't know. We've been a team for about a year.
Wow.
D69 was formed in March 2016, I think.
And
so
it's starting to show, I think, in your guys' communications, because they're very simple, right? You just call out who's low, who's out of position. Everyone knows what, you know, it seems like every step of the way, every teammate knows exactly what you know. You know where PERDO is going to be, you know where eLven's going to be. You just got very simple communication. It was awesome to kind of listen to you guys push it through. But the big thing here was you guys beat the Bomb King 3 games in a row. Was it the Drogos? The counter burst?
it was a combination of different things. We know how to counter Bomb King. Laizy plays amazing Bomb King, so it's kind of harder, but we have our drafts, especially on the maps. We're glad they pick Jagger Falls, because that's the map where a second pick actually dominates. Pretty much, I don't know how many teams won Jagger Falls today on second pick, but every time we play Jagger Falls second pick, we won.
Drogo so strong against the King, so strong on Jaguar Falls. The resilience pickups actually were massive for you guys on Frog Isle. It just seemed like Carbon 6 couldn't do anything. They couldn't keep you guys locked down.
The reason Bomb King is strong because you can provide that CC, that area of denial, the Grumpy Bomb, the ultimate. When he comes in, you can just heal it right after it, but because it's not gonna stun you, you can escape right after if you're gonna get low and get to cover. The reason the Bomb King will do so strong is because of the CC, not the damage it does.
Yeah, I think largely that's some of the things that people don't look at. You see the 2 bombs exploding you, killing you, and that's all you see on your kill feed, but really it's the Grumpy Bombs, the King Bombs that set so much up in a competitive sense for your team. You know, bugzy, let's talk about you for a second, because you're here. Let's mention about how it feels for you to be in America. You know, you have your girlfriend here, a member of the community, Coral. How does it feel to be in this situation with your full team, with your support system here in America? Was it just a good vibe from the start for you?
I think like the biggest thing was actually meeting my girlfriend Coral, as you mentioned. That gave me a boost of confidence and.
Is this your first time meeting face to face in real life?
Yes.
Wow, there it is.
First LAN NA, first LAN meeting together. So
I love it. I love it.
I was wondering where you were like Friday night. I was like, what's going on? Bugzy not hanging out with everybody? What's going on? Room's locked. I don't get it.
Little pre-game ritual.
No, I'm kidding. I'm messing around. But that's fantastic, man. And again, that seemed to really show. You've got smiles, even if you're kind of reserved in the way you approach it. You could see that it's not a frown. It's more of a smile that you're hiding.
Yeah.
It's the famous smirk. I mean, we saw the big smile start to crack through when he's getting 2 games, 3 games above Carbon 6. But once again, man, congratulations. Huge win for you here today. I'm very happy to have you here.
Fantastic. Really great stuff, man. Congratulations to D69. And send our thanks to the teams as well. Let's go to the brackets and check things out, how they all ended today and how they shaped up after this incredibly amazing Masters LAN. I'm so proud to be a part of this, and I'm sure Nick seconds my sentiments. Alan, High Old Shift, and Hi-Rez Vox as well as all of production, our esports staff, our president and vice presidents, and all of the people who come together to make this this great event so magical, from our admins to even the people here. Shout outs to the family. My family who's here visiting me for the first time. Not the first time I've met my mom and dad, but the first time they've seen my apartment. I'll say that.
Awesome, good, awesome stuff. This is not the end of the road for Paladins Esports. We've got a lot of stuff going on. We got a big casting competition going on right now. You can find a lot of details on that. And big $10,000 prize pool actually for that.
You could see my booty right there under the. It's
Bro, you always point to your booty. You could see my face.
Sure, but when you're talking about my booty, your face, I think we know what wins here, man.
Please.
I got the cakes. You can't deny it. Thecaster.tv is where you can find some of the answers for whether you'll be able to be a part of what we do up here. It may not be in the same role, but you'll definitely be able to show off your skills and maybe make a name for yourself in this industry that we all know is kind of hard to get into, but once you're in, it's hard to get them out, no matter what you do, right?
It's a lot of fun to be here, guys. Like we said, this isn't the road for the end of Paladins Esports, and you might be excited about it. You might want to get involved. We got a lot more coming for you. A lot of road to DreamHack stuff. Oof. It's going to be one of the biggest esports events that Hi-Rez Studios has ever put on.
Yeah, I think let's take a look at it so you all know what's happening. Just to reiterate, 8 teams, $100,000, July 13th, 14th, and 15th here. The summer premiere at DreamHack Valencia 2017. 4 weeks open bracket qualifier starting May 6th, ending on the 28th. And the top 4 teams advance to a round robin starting June 3rd, ending June 18th. And those 2 teams qualify from each region for DreamHack, and we'll have some international teams joining us as well.
For those of you guys that are nice on the sticks, we've got the console wars also going to happen at DreamHack Valencia. Both Xbox and PS4 will be represented. That'll happen. You will qualify through 6 weeks of grueling open bracket play to determine who's the best. We're going to have 4 teams there from each, or 2 from each region, 4 total, competing for 50 grand.
50K. Can I join? Whew.
I'm pretty nice on the sticks.
I have an Xbox, you know, maybe. I want to do the caster. I want to be a part of the Xbox. I'm just kidding, guys. You know what? I'm so glad being right here, right now. Again, our sincere thank you and appreciation to everyone who was watching, who participated, all the teams. Round of applause at home, round of applause here in the studio if you're around. Everybody who made this event happen, we thank you, and we're so excited to be a part of this in the future. Paladins Esports is only beginning, and of course, this isn't going to be the last land. In 2 months, we're going to Spain. We'll have some fun there, and we hope that you do join us. As always, this will be the end for today from us, but not the end for a long time. It is going to be my name, Rain Day. Hi-Rez pretty here. Thank you so much, man. Great cast today.
Always a pleasure.
Pleasure working with you. You'll see us soon. And, of course, remember, just never give up, never stop gaming, and we'll see you all in the realm.